Okay, so I just wanted to start this episode, okay?
This.
I have to start this episode by doing an official apology to someone who apparently actually listens to us, which surprised and delighted me. So this is an apology that I'm putting out to Classic Go, a fellow content creator, because we're content creators now, I've been told. YouTuber, regular on certain podcasts. Apparently on our last episode, I said some things. I said a lot of words. What?
And if you want to hear those things, that is 50 minutes into the video.
50 minutes into the video, and approximately who knows how long into the actual podcast. But in that podcast, I was talking about the fact that feral druids are not right in the head and possibly need professional help. And my example of a feral druid that I used was Classic Go. So Classic Go has reminded us through a YouTube comment. Thank you for leaving a comment on our YouTube. Through a YouTube comment, that Classic Go is in fact not a feral druid. He is a balanced druid, or a boomkin, as they call it. So oops and sorry. I didn't mean to accuse you of being a feral druid. I know it's a terrible thing to accuse somebody of just offhand like that, especially given the context of me basically calling you insane, which I do stand by. And yeah, I just needed to start off by saying that. I felt that was important to get off my chest.
We are Mere Casuals.
So now we have
that was
a
not an attractive look.
What was not?
Reached.
Do it again.
Sometimes no.
I've never seen you not attractive before. I wanted to see it.
Did you cleavage it over?
Thanks.
So we've got a thing. So we're going to start by introducing the podcast. So we are Mere Casuals,
A podcast of World of Warcraft.
where Sam gets closer to her microphone. What are we?
Podcast.
A World of Warcraft podcast?
World of Warcraft podcast.
Focusing on...
Currently focused on Wrath of the Lich King.
That's better. That's so much better.
On.
I'm currently focusing on Wrath of the Lich King. I'm Josh/Will Riker.
I'm Sam/Rolaren.
I'm Alan/Okona most of the time nowadays.
So...
go
ahead.
I
almost thought you were there. I was going to introduce you, but yeah, you go ahead and introduce yourself.
How rude, Josh.
I'm a strong independent man. I'm Falconmick/Kilatesi.
Welcome, Falconmick. Is that your in-game name?
Yeah, Kilatesi's in game.
Okay, that's not your real life name.
No, he's Falconmick.
His real life name is Falconmick.
That's what.
I
that's
stand
what.
by that.
So there's a question that I put on. not that I put on. That Sam's going to ask you later. No, that I was going to ask about if you have an interesting story about how you got your name. And Sam was like, "That's rude. What if that's his birth name?" And I was like, "Falconmick?" And she's like, "Yeah, you don't know. We don't know. So we're going to ask you that later.
That is true.
And if it is your birth name, yeah, that's still a cool story. So I wanted to start.
Hate me.
Yeah. What are we going to call this one? There's a bird outside. Kind of looks like a falcon. So okay. So I wanted to also plug our Discord. We have a Discord link in the podcast notes. I'm going to back this up so I'm not straining my eyes looking up at it. We have a Discord link in the podcast notes. Al also made a discord.io link, which works if you type it into the internet. I don't know how things work. So if you type discord.io, that's an I and an O, accents and all that, / I don't remember which one. Is it the / or the backslash?
/ probably.
That one? Yeah, this / Mere Casuals, all one word. It should redirect you to a prompt to join our Discord. Mm-hmm. Yes, it should. We think it will. If that doesn't work, just click the link in the podcast description.
I will create a video showing you how to do it.
Okay.
Showing me how to do it? Because everyone else is probably going to be able to figure it out
I'm
instantly.
speaking into the mic, which is the general public, so it's a generalized you.
Okay. Because I think everybody but me is going to have an easy time.
I'm actually just talking about a lamb.
We also have a YouTube channel, Mere Casuals. Talking about a what?
Lamb.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
We also have a YouTube, Mere Casuals. Search Mere Casuals on YouTube. Is there a better way to get to that? Do we have links to it somewhere?
It's you can't make personalized links anymore, so just search Mere Casuals. Well, Mere Casuals podcast, it'll bring it up. I just did that on this computer, actually.
I had to do that yesterday because Al was trying to show me a video, and I don't follow the Mere Casuals YouTube. Apparently, I'm not subscribed, so I had to search it. I did find it. I'll subscribe eventually. I keep forgetting.
I did find a TikTok scrolling through it
Well,
the other day.
You know what?
You found one of our TikToks?
Yeah.
We have to have patience. I mean, how long did it take you to make a guild tabard?
I don't remember, but it's made now, so there. We also have a Rested XP promo code if you like us and want to support us, and also like Rested XP, which is cool and useful. You can do that. What?
Do you want to turn my sound off?
I don't know how to turn your sound off. Do you want to turn your sound
the
off?
same way you turn your sound off.
So along the lines of last week, we have a guest again, Falconmick, as he introduced himself. So say hello and wave to the camera if we do a video, I guess. Who knows if we're going to have a video of this or not.
We're going to have a video of this.
Well, Al says we're going to have a video of this. So he's really, really counting on me knowing how to use OBS. So, does anyone have anything else to say intro-wise?
True.
I know how to use OBS. Do you know how to edit videos is the question.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
Okay.
You liked my last thumbnail. You told me.
I did, yeah, sure. It was definitely a thumbnail.
I wasn't part of that.
You thumbnailed the heck out of that thing.
Well, I was the only one that was in the last thumbnail, sort of. The one for Valheim.
That one. That thumbnail was fine. That was a good thumbnail.
I told you.
I'm not saying the other one was weird. I'm just saying that was a good thumbnail. I like the Valheim thumbnail. So we are going to, just in case. Oh, who disappeared?
Al did.
No.
Al's pushing buttons.
No, I logged in somewhere else and my authenticator came on. Go away.
So Sam needs to stop fiddling with the mic stand. Al needs to
didn't
stop
touch
fiddling
it.
with the camera settings.
I didn't touch my phone that time. I was logging into YouTube.
It's funny because Bob gets a kick out of it / tells me off when I tell you guys off live on the podcast. So I'm going to keep doing it because I find it hilarious. There's a lot of podcast questions, but
that kind of brings up me
Is there?
touching my mic.
okay, there you go. But what we're going to do,
You see how organized we are?
he listens to the podcast. He's well aware, I
It's
think.
a good thing that we edit this,
Yeah.
and I just need my microphone, so hopefully we can get that spike out of there.
Wasn't me.
So here's what we're going to do, though. We're going to start,
With.
kind of like last week, we're going to start by talking to Falconmick,
Okay.
learning
See?
all about him. What?
What a coincidence. So I just logged into my YouTube,
Yeah,
which is what knocked my phone off just a moment ago.
yeah.
I just got a notification. We have a new follower on YouTube, and coincidentally, his name is also Falconmick.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
cool.
I may have gone, oh wow, whoops, I haven't subscribed that yet.
Multitasking.
You beat
Well,
Josh.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Don't feel bad because you clearly listen to the podcast, right?
Mm.
So you listen to it. You don't have to listen to it and watch it on YouTube. You can, but I mean, as long as you do one, you're kind of doing okay.
Yeah, but then there's the extra stuff too. I might put a little Skyrim stuff on there. We do have
Skyrim
some,
stuff.
yeah, we do have some Valheim stuff on there. I have Skyrim. You know, if I get bored enough, I might play it.
That's what Skyrim's for.
Yeah.
For people that get bored enough to play a 15-year-old. Shoot, we're playing WoW. So what we're going to do,
have
just in
Nintendo.
case we do, just in case,
You have something even better that you didn't put up, and you won't let me take it.
just in case.
It's already 2600.
Just in case Falconmick gets ripped away from us early, I want to get to him early.
Okay.
We're going to ask him some questions. We're going to learn all about him. So we're going to start. We're going to start with the classic. Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. Just well, Falconmick in game, or maybe some other people might know me as Mick Tanky from back before Yojamba was killed by Blizzard. That was the server I was on Oceanic. But yeah, I've just a gamer like you guys.
Was that
That
was that a private server? The Yojimbo?
Oh no. You probably know Aragal because it's the big talking point. Well, it has been because it used to be basically the biggest server in WoW until every other server got joined up together. Yojamba was its like ugly stepsister. We were the small, tiny, well not tiny, we were a small server, and it was peaceful and lovely. And then Blizzard decided to add free transfers and faction changes, and yeah, my server died, so I had to move, and I was very sad. And I think that was sad.
So everybody transferred off that server.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that seems to be happening a lot. They've opened up free transfers, and I think they're trying to push the whole mega server thing. They're letting people jump ship from a lot of the lesser populated servers to the mega servers. So
They're using those servers for their new hardcore servers.
maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're trying
That's
to.
not how it works. Oh my god, no!
We
It's
can,
the
we
one
can
one
pretend,
thing.
we can pretend.
I'm
That's
not
the
overly,
one thing. Every time I listen to a podcast, I'm like, oh well, just because the more servers they have, the more resources. No, it's going to be a set series of servers that basically just like share a bit of their resources to let you connect in and do your thing. So the number of servers doesn't really probably impact how much actual servers they have.
So this is a first. We have someone on the show who knows things. So this will be handy.
now for the record, I'm not going to say I'm overly techie, but I did not actually believe what I said.
Okay, good. I'm
I'm
sorry, it's just it kills me every time.
So, all right. So yeah, and I did mention that we were going to ask you this. So, do you have any kind of interesting or cool story behind how you got your name, Falconmick, or is it just a thing you made up?
Basically, when I was looking for an online username in my friend's shed at when I was 8, his bigger brother called himself Falcon Gav, and I was like, well, that's easy. I'll go Falcon Mick because we lived in a place called Falcon. So it was very very boring name, but it's easy.
So you've used it since you were 8.
Yeah.
See, I had usernames that I used for games when I was a kid, and as I aged, none of them were as reasonable sounding as Falcon Mick. They were all like stupid, like cringy, like 13-year-old stuff. So I reached an age where I was like, shoot, I need to find new names.
Can we
my
hear
Xbox Live? My Xbox Live was eBay Child, so I've graduated from that.
You say eBay child?
Yeah.
That's funny. I have a question for you. Is your background real?
No, he fuzzed
Well,
it
it's
out.
blurred.
Oh, okay. I can see.
I live in the void.
I can see a crack in the matrix. That's why I was checking.
He has the sense to hide his messy desk, unlike us.
Nice water bottle.
Yeah, I found it in the van. I've started using it.
Been looking for it.
So Falcon Mick, how did you get started with WoW?
Basically, I was sitting down. I was on the internet pirating movies and stuff, as you do when you're a kid, and I came across the what's it called, the World of Warcraft episode of South Park, and I watched them like putting into cans and like getting degenerate. I was like, wow, that game looks amazing, and I wanted to play. So literally, after watching an episode of South Park, I was like, oh wow, that game looks amazing. I've got to try that out.
So there was something good that came from South Park.
That was a decent / almost too insightful episode of South Park. So was it the pooping through a hole in the chair? Was that what got you?
Well, to be real, it was more like the whole idea of a world where there could be somebody who was a big bad person and you could level up and get better and go attack things. It was like, that just sounded really interesting. And compared to RuneScape, it looked much better.
Okay, so I was going to ask, was WoW the first MMO you played, but you played RuneScape. So RuneScape's an MMO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I had to second guess myself for a second. So did you start? I'm trying to remember when that South Park episode came out. Was that during Classic, or was that during one of the expansions? My brain doesn't work for time
October
well.
3rd, 1996.
You don't know this.
It was about at the right before I started playing, right before TBC. So I technically played in vanilla, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was probably like level 15, like after 5 years of gameplay.
To be fair, a lot of us didn't know what we were doing in vanilla, so like I'm pretty sure I hit 60 on a couple tunes, but I definitely was not good at the game. I even did some raids, but I definitely wasn't good at it. I think I played a warrior and it definitely wasn't geared properly.
Sandwichy?
No, this was way back. This was before I started using food names. This was before I met you, Al. You didn't even know me then.
I barely know you now.
You know me too well now. Why are you stealing the phone? I'm trying to read a question. Do you want to read a question?
Yeah.
Sam wants to read a question.
Sam has a question.
Because this one kind of segues from the previous one, so...
You didn't put bullet points. I don't know where you were.
I'm at... I just asked how we got started with WoW.
Why don't you ask your question? You have a question, the one that you made up.
Yeah.
Was that what you're gonna do?
Well, we'll go with this, and then I'll ask my
Yeah,
question.
I'll let Sam ask her a
Can you
question. She wants to jump in and ask a question.
Can you describe your WoW journey? Is that more? Is there more? Where do you follow?
That's it. That's the WoW journey question, because a lot of us have a journey of quitting and restarting.
Yeah.
Oh, well, basically, I just started out as a warrior, as my first character, got it to level 8, decided I didn't like it, and then I made a druid, and then that druid was basically me all the way through to... I played all the way through to TBC, but I didn't really raid, I just, literally took the entire expansion to level because I was in high school at the time, so I didn't really have time to play. And then, right as I finished high school, Wrath of the Lich King came out, so that's when I started. I literally one time went over to my friend's house, and we had a LAN that went for about 2 months. We literally, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd go to his house. Well, we wouldn't even go to his house. We'd go to his shed, and it was in the middle of winter, so we were freezing to death. But it was the perfect time to play World of Warcraft. So we just sat in the shed and played WoW all day for about 2 months. Only break I'd have would be to go to work so I can have more money for WoW time.
That's all that matters. That sounds actually kind of similar to what me and a friend of mine did near the end of high school. He actually came over to my house one day and brought his computer and didn't leave for about a year. And we were playing EverQuest at the time. So we just, because this was before WoW came out, so you can't judge me for not playing WoW, Alan. This was in 2000, so this was pre-WoW.
I never judged you for not playing WoW.
He brought his computer up, and
I judged you for playing EverQuest.
We hooked them both up to the internet, and we had a table, like a kitchen table in my bedroom, and we just both sat in there. And when one of us was at work, we'd turn the monitor around, and the other one would play both characters, and we basically just sat and worked and played EverQuest for a year.
Was this your friend that was my landlord?
Yes, same friend. But I interrupted. So did you play beyond TBC, or did you?
Oh yeah, it was the degenerate time was Wrath of the Lich King, and I played through that all the way to about halfway through Trial of the Grand Crusader. But then because I had I was still at university at the time, and I had some university exams on, so I got booted from the raid because I missed a single raid and that wasn't good enough. So that then led to a break until the ICC came out, and then I just started basically doing lots of just dungeons, and occasionally sneaking my way into a random pug for ICC. And from there, I think I played the launch of Cataclysm, where I got to max level in an unreasonably short time, and then found that there was barely anyone. I was the only person in my guild who was at max level, so I had no one to do any dungeons with, and they were the dungeons where they required coordination and a bit of skill. So not having anyone in your guild that you can collaborate with and just relying on random people, it was not a good time. I just got bored of it, and I don't think I even raided in that expansion. I mean, I did the same thing for the pandas, and I just came in, leveled up, and then as soon as I got to max level, I just got bored. So that was about it.
Yeah, it does get boring after a while if you don't have a guild. I think I don't know what you did, but I did very similar through Cataclysm and Pandaria. I wasn't really in a good guild. I didn't raid. I just kind of leveled characters and goofed around in the open world. Yeah. So I would get bored and quit playing every couple months because I wasn't really doing anything. But yeah, I do remember the dungeons being a bit harder and requiring some amount of coordination. And that's kind of what Cat is known for. The dungeons get a lot harder.
I'll be excited for Kata this time. I'll actually do more of the dungeons because I think I avoided. No, I did Kata dungeons. Sorry, it was Mist's dungeons I didn't do. But I bombed around Kata for a while. It was fun. I got into Raid Finder looking for raid, so that was good. It kept me going. I actually got to see some of the end game raids without earning it.
Something that, according to YouTube comments, we know nothing about and are not qualified to speak about. Did you read the comments on Bob's podcast that we were on? The YouTube comments?
No.
They were kind of, I wouldn't say harsh, but they weren't kind to us.
I didn't read the title of the guests.
Well, that's the thing. Bob was talking about it on his stream a bit today because somebody asked him about it. How did you like the comments? But yeah, some of the comments were your guests don't know anything about this. And Bob was on his stream, and he's like, He was like, yeah, you guys don't know who these guys are. These guys have a podcast that's known for getting everything wrong. And I was like, correction, we get most things wrong. We don't get everything wrong. But yeah, he got a kick out of it. And I was like, hey, I'm sure I said at least one thing correct during that. I don't know. But we apparently do not know LFR.
Was I there at the time?
I
was
don't
I
know.
gone?
You were there for most of it. Do you know much about LFR? What have we been wrong about with LFR?
I don't know a lot about it purely because when it came out, I logged back in to play to see what the raids were like, and then just literally sat in the corner and watched everyone raid while I was like, well, I don't need to do anything, and this is boring, and left.
That sounds like
it was
LFR.
It was completely different to what raiding was supposed to be from when I was raiding, and I was like, this isn't right. Like, I need to. Like, people are literally AFK, and the boss is still dying. It didn't feel good.
Definitely easy mode. Now, I keep having these flashbacks. Is Pandaria the expansion where they had that weird island you could go to and there was just like epics on the ground?
Yes.
Was that
Yeah.
Pandaria? The Timeless Isle or something like that? Was that what it
Yes.
was called?
There was a
They
dragon
had
that came
that.
down.
Yeah.
There were epics everywhere.
Yeah. That I remember that, and I remember just thinking that was awesome and then getting bored of it real quick because it seemed too easy. I was gonna say more. Oh, so did you play anything beyond? Yeah, can't talk. Did you play anything beyond Pandaria, or did you just like stop and come back for Classic?
I stopped at Pandora and just came back for Classic. I like actually had I cried a single tear when they announced Classic. I was that bloody happy because I've been just dying for it for so long because I join a private server and then just have this feeling in my gut that this server's going to go away and then just not want to play. So I was just dying for a private server that was official, basically. So then they announced it, and it was like amazing.
Yeah, I know we were all, well, you less than us because I mean you were kind of excited.
About what?
Classic.
Oh yeah, because I was going back to doing stuff.
Yeah, because we were
that I
doing
haven't
stuff.
done
But I
before.
know me and Al we saw that Classic was being released, and we immediately were like, okay, we need to know the date. We need to know the date that we can get on and preserve our names like ahead of time. And we even like Al brought his computer over to the house here, and we all set up at a table in the front room here. And just like as soon as we were able to get through the queues, anyways, we deliberately picked a less populated server because we didn't want to have to wait all day in queue.
When was this? How long?
This
ago
was
this?
like 2019.
That
This
gonna
was
be,
just
like,
before the
pre-baby,
plague.
But we had baby then.
Yeah, no, we had.
Okay.
I started on Aragal because that's the one everyone was joining. There actually was only one Oceanic when the one PvP Oceanic when Classic launched. So I was on. I got on about an hour before and logged in, so I wouldn't have to wait. And then I played for about 8 hours straight, which was great. Literally from launch to 8 hours, and then the game crashed. And when I went and rejoined, I had a queue time of 24 hours, and I was like, okay,
Oh.
I guess I'm playing on your Jamba.
That's crazy. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's
they-
what I was. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, because they thought that having a single Oceanic server on release for PvP was a good idea, and then that's when they had to make the second one, and that one then also had like 5-hour queues as well. So, but that thankfully they might have made one more PvP. Yeah, they made one more PvP server, and I'm very glad I didn't join that one because that one died pretty bad from
You look like
memory.
you have something to say, Al.
No.
No. What were all the head movements?
Oh, I'm reading the comments.
Oh, you're reading
Oh.
the YouTube comment. I know, aren't they great?
Paying attention to us.
I'm
I thought it
paying
was
attention to you.
hilarious. I was reading through it and I was like, this is actually kind of amusing. Like, I kind of like this. Because they're not wrong, but it's also not an insult necessarily. I think they think they're being very cutting by being like, these guys don't know all the details about LFR.
I've actually played LFR.
And I'm sitting here saying, yeah, I never claimed to know anything about LFR. I'm giving my comment on it, but I know nothing about it. I don't know how it works.
Well,
I think
you're a
I'm-
podcast. You must be an expert.
Yeah, that's what some
we're
people
on the
assume,
internet.
but then the people that actually listen to us, I think they realize that that we just kind of get on here and we speak from the heart and we say what we feel about the game rather than what the game actually is.
Half the time, it's not even about the game.
Sometimes it's about the game, but I
Yeah, this is
feel
probably
like
the most-
feel that the game works this way. So this is what I'm saying.
This is probably the most Warcraft chat that the podcast has had in its history.
Right?
Well, that's one of the things. Like we've decided to be like, okay, so we're a casual Warcraft player podcast. We need to involve the the classic
Casual.
playing Warcraft classic community, because I find it's more interesting with us talking about WoW instead of just what we think, which we've talked about for like 37 episodes already. We
What are we
need to
on?
get what everybody else. We need to get what the WoW community feels about this game.
You need to get some of those crazy feral players on.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I can handle talking to a feral player with their
Like
like.
you're doing pretty good.
Oh, are you a feral player?
Yeah.
What do you play? I never
Well,
asked
when he
you.
brought up
That's one of
Druid,
the
I
later
was going
questions.
to ask him if he was feral when he brought up
Oh,
his
like-
Druid.
up until Wrath of the Lich King, I was playing a warrior and a mage because they're fun. But I had to play a druid when Wrath of the Lich King came, because when I was original Wrath, I played feral during original Wrath, and like it was the most insane experience ever. I joined a raiding guild. I just had blues and greens, and I got the second highest pars on the DPS meters purely because I was feral and I knew how to press my buttons in the correct order. It was like back before they did all these changes, like the actual original balancing for ferals in phase 1 was beyond ridiculous, because a lot of their damage was bleeds, and because it was through bleeds, they don't have to deal with armor penetration, all that kind of stuff. So it was insane. So I had to relive it when Wrath of the Lich King came out, and then the feral DPS was crap, and I was sad. And then my guild transferred to Horde and left the server, and I was sad. So I joined another guild, and they're like, "Hey, can you go Boomkin?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then ferals got good, and I was sad. So
Well,
I've been
yeah.
playing the worst version of Druid the entire expansion, and then just and then I stopped because I just missed my old guild.
Yeah, Boomkin started out really strong in Wrath, but like I think everyone was looking forward and expecting Feral to get like crazy by the time ICC came out. So does Feral not need armor pen as much?
You still take advantage of it, but it's just more that because a lot of their damage does come through bleeds, it's not going to make them as bad as Warrior without armor pen.
Okay, because I know I rolled a Druid recently with the intention of getting it boosted up and trying to play it Feral, because I do consider myself mildly unstable. So I feel like I should at least attempt to play Feral Druid. But now, like, I'm kind of wondering, based on the intro, he was a
Sorry.
tank. Tank Feral and DPS Feral are different
Okay.
things.
Yeah.
I mean, they're similar, but it takes a different level of weirdness to do the Feral DPS.
No, but my guy was a hybrid.
Yeah, but
He could do both.
I know,
And right
but
now, I'm
like-
using the feral aspect of him,
which you will learn how to do someday.
which I'm learning how to do.
I know. But the thing is, now I feel like I need to, beginning of next podcast, issue another apology for using the intro of this podcast to insult our guest's preferred class because I didn't ask ahead of time. Which, you know what, I probably knew because you were on our rating sign-up sheet, right?
Yeah.
And you probably put Feral Druid.
I don't know if I put Feral just purely because
You know so much you don't
it,
like
it,
it.
it, yeah,
I
it's
don't
no, it's
dislike-
about
I don't
it's
dislike Feral Druid.
I've got the ability to do both. So the idea was whatever the composition made more sense for.
I do remember that now, but I have a terrible memory, so I can never connect things. I don't connect things well. So that more or less. So does that cover that one question then? Because there was a question on here. What is your preferred class, race, faction? So is Druid your preferred class? Like, is Feral Druid your favorite?
I mean, for Wrath of the Lich King, yes. If for any other expansion, no, it'd be Warrior.
Good answer. Because Feral Druid's good in Wrath, but Warrior is an awesome class. I love Warrior. I wish I played my Warrior more.
I had to use my feral druid this morning, actually.
For what?
As farming.
What were you farming?
A frost protection potion?
Like the recipe?
Yeah.
From Winter Spring?
No.
Oh, the greater one?
Yes.
Where's that drop? Is that a drop? Like the Wrath one?
Yeah, it drops from the damned apothecaries.
Oh, where are the?
They are, so you got the tournament grounds and
Oh, I know now. Yep. Okay.
and I it's a BOP, so I had to take my druid and I wasn't sure, and those level 80s hit like level 80s.
You should be able to kill those.
I was able to kill them.
I
I still didn't have the proper rotation. Like there was a few things. I'm going, okay, I'm going to attack them. I'm going to want to throw fairy fire at them. Where the hell is my fairy fire?
So with a feral druid though, can't you just be like hitting and realize, oh, I'm taking damage, and just swap and put a heal over time on yourself and swap back and hit again?
Yeah, I had to do heal over time because my actual heal spell also wasn't on my bar.
Oh,
It's
boy.
because I had the my old age had that thing.
You'll get there eventually.
The
Dementia?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the thing that put buttons on your screen?
The thing to put buttons on your screen.
Auras, weak auras. I had the weak
Oh.
aura for a druid, and I didn't like it, so I took it off. But I still have the overlay from the other app, because heaven forbid I remember the name of an app. So anyway, just things are off my bar that were there before.
That sounds unfortunate.
Yeah, short story long.
Yeah, that was a long way of saying you didn't have your abilities on your bar. It was cool though.
I'm a little bit off because I don't know anything about
we
looking for
enjoyed it.
raid, even though I played it.
So now we got some questions in slightly the wrong order here because you just spontaneously answered some, which is great. Oh, faction though. Are you a horde or an alliance kind of guy?
Alliance.
Alliance? Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to live in a mud hut.
You don't like the dusty, dirty looking Orgrimmar feel?
Nah.
You want actual buildings?
I want to have an epic soundtrack every time I enter my capital city.
What city's got the best soundtrack?
I mean, when you first enter Stormwind, it's really big, loud sound. It's good.
Al was whispering Stormwind as I was asking the question.
Yeah.
So he knows. I don't absorb that. Like I do. I've started actually playing with my sound on, but I don't notice the music. It's probably because I'm usually doing something else when I'm playing. Like I'm not good at just sitting and playing. Like I'm always playing WoW and like watching a show or like editing a video or like doing something.
You can go and what's it called? Listen to the soundtracks on Spotify, so you can, while you're doing other stuff, listen to the music, which sounds lame, but if you just want some background music, it's very good.
That's not a bad idea.
Especially TBC is really good.
I'm doing something like that, but it's with Dungeons and Daddies.
Well, that's listening to a podcast. That's different. That's a different thing. So I'm gonna jump to our probably most important question. Now I don't know much about Australia. I'm not ashamed to say it's about as far away from us as you can
They have
possibly
giant
get.
spiders. That's
literally.
all I know.
But
Is that true?
Do they have?
I mean,
spiders
everywhere
in
has giant
Australia? Are
There's
you
like
serious?
giant, like people-sized spiders.
Not people-sized, bird-sized.
See, no.
What kind of bird?
Bird-sized is bad enough. You didn't need to exaggerate and say people-sized. Bird-sized spider is enough. Like
Yeah.
that, you could have left it at that, and that's still a shocking statement.
Well, wait a minute. What about that one that we encountered on your bachelor party?
That was the size of, at risk of
Small
90% of our listeners not knowing what this is. That was like the size of a toonie.
No, it wasn't. It was,
Was
the
it
size of
bigger
my
than that?
foot.
Was it? No. I
Yes.
feel like you're
It wasn't that big.
misremembering. I had a video of it. I showed Sam. It wasn't the size of your
A
foot.
picture. Yeah, I dropped a big rock on it.
Mr. Al with his infant size 2 shoes, apparently. It was the size of your foot.
It was big. It was
It was a
easily-
big spider.
It was
but
easily this big. I'm counting
No.
the legs. Are
it
you
was. I
counting
think
the
it
legs?
was. I'm not counting the legs.
Wait, what are we talking about?
spider.
No.
A dock spider. I think.
I think it was a wolf spider. Was it a wolf spider or a duck? I don't know spiders. This
I've
is not.
seen a
This
wolf
is not
spider.
the
A
point
wolf
of my
spider
question.
is the size of a toonie. This was not a toonie spider.
Okay, doesn't matter.
What I was getting at was, I don't know if you guys have hot dogs in Australia or not. I'm assuming you do. But in your opinion, is a hot dog a sandwich?
If it comes in bread, it's a sandwich. If it comes in a roll, it's not.
So in a roll, okay. So like a hot
So
dog
pig in a
bun,
blanket.
as we would call it. So what is
Yeah.
it then? Because I've always argued that a hot dog is actually a taco.
I mean,
I don't get
if you
that.
put it into a taco, it'd be a taco. I'd say it's a roll.
A taco is like a tortilla.
A taco is it's like a bread peninsula. So you put it. What's a taco, right? You've got like a C-shaped bread-like object that you put things into, and then you eat it like this. That's a hot dog, isn't it?
Oh, you could make
Yeah.
like a chili and like chop up some sausages, and then you can make a taco out of a sausage. Then
Well, now I want a chili cheese dog.
See that? But I was going to say
I'm
that's a
not
thing.
hungry,
A
though.
chili cheese dog is a thing. So is a chili cheese dog a taco, but a regular hot dog is just a sandwich, unless it's in a bun, and then it's then what is it?
It's just a roll.
Just a roll with some meat inserted into it.
Yep.
So instead of saying I'm going to go home and have a hot dog, I'm going to say I'm going to go at home and I'm going to insert some meat into a roll.
Don't say it.
I can't say that.
No.
No, why not? That seems like a perfectly appropriate thing to say.
Okay.
Al, do you
You're
have any
gonna get your meat and stick it between some buns.
yeah, that's what. Well, no, that's a hamburger. I'm gonna go home and stick some meat in between my meat in between some buns. You gotta pound the meat first, though.
What if you added your meat to a fish taco?
A fish taco?
Yeah.
I
Mate,
mean,
we have rumors starting about you now, like some of the fishies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what is if you added? Okay, hold on. So if you stuck a hot dog, like a hot dog wiener, into a fish taco, what is that other than an abomination?
No idea. Hey, fish.
I think it's all tacos.
No, I was just giving a visualization that really had nothing to do with sandwiches.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's where you were going with it.
So we gonna have tacos tomorrow?
No, Tuesday.
And by tacos, I mean hot dogs.
Oh,
No, Thursday is
Taco
it's
Tuesday.
Taco Thursday.
no.
No, okay.
Tomorrow's Sunday.
It is. What day is it today?
Saturday.
Oh,
No,
shoot.
it's Sunday.
It's
It's
Sunday.
Sunday for some of us. Bright and early Sunday. We dragged Falconmick out of bed to record because, I mean, I know most people probably can't tell that he's got an accent. He's from Australia, so the west side of Australia, where it is
Mhm.
cold
Oh,
because they're in opposite land.
so spiders aren't out.
They're probably still out.
Oh.
No, not all the spiders live. Well, all the big ones live on the east coast. We've only got the small ones that can kill you.
Oh, okay. That's
So the small ones are more dangerous.
Yes.
So okay, so which side of Australia is scarier, and which side's more deadly, or is it both the same?
They've both got their they've both got their scariness. It's hard to say.
Where are the crocodiles?
That would be up north
Okay,
in what's it called in Northern Territory.
so
Where they're original
north
with
in
name.
Australia is like south for us.
Yeah.
So the farther north in Australia you go,
Ugh.
does it get hotter?
Yeah, much hotter.
See, that is crazy, isn't it? You got to go north to get warmer.
Yeah.
South is colder.
My parents are currently in North Queensland at the moment, so it's nice and warm for them. Like it's raining because they're in a
that's
rainforest, but it's
northeast,
warm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I know some things.
They can walk on water.
now.
What?
Have you ever run into the Hemsworth brothers before?
Yeah, no, I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
No, he watches where he's going.
I've heard of it. I know what the word is, but I don't even know what it. I've
You
heard the
don't know
words, but I don't know what they are.
They're probably only famous here.
oh, okay. Like Thor.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No, obviously not.
You don't know everyone from Australia?
But I've had who was the? I can't even remember the name of the movie. There was a cyberpunk movie that was shot in New Zealand. I used to live over there for a while, and there was this cake that it was a famous actor. So, I don't know where I'm going. I don't even remember her name. But basically, I was just saying the only celebrity related thing I've ever done is there was this celebrity who really liked this chocolate cake at a place in New Zealand, and I went in there and had it, and it was really good.
I want to know now.
Now I wanna
Cyberpunk
know.
movie that was filmed in New Zealand. How long ago?
It was based off an anime, and Jolie
Alita?
maybe.
Alita?
No, it wasn't Battle Angel. It was a bit before then. It's from an anime, not from an anime looking thing.
I don't watch anime.
Loser. Are you looking? Are you trying to Google it?
I probably
Cyber-
should, but I've got a
Cyberpunk.
loud keyboard.
Al's
Al's
typing
typing
away.
something, but we're not sure.
Usually, when I don't know things, Al Googles it and then pretends he just knew.
Did you say
If- if you
Australia or
just-
New Zealand?
New Zealand. It
It
was
was
filmed in New Zealand,
shot in Wellington.
which is next door to Australia.
Oh, this is taking forever.
Also, the most likely country to be accidentally excluded from a world map.
I am
Zealand?
mother.
It's also where Gabe Newell lives.
Al saying "I am mother." Is
No.
that the movie? That's not a
It's a
cyber-
very, very famous
It says
anime.
I Am Mother is a 2019 Australian cyberpunk thriller film.
It was not made by an Australian company. It was a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't made by an Australian company. It was a big movie.
Lord of the Rings.
That's not cyberpunk. You're terrible at
Anyways.
Googling.
Should we
No,
move
that
on?
was just me. Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
move on.
interrupt.
We'll figure it out eventually. I am suddenly super interested.
My
See,
question. I have a question. Can I
Oh,
ask
okay,
one?
yeah, you can ask
So-
whatever questions
Yeah.
you want.
Growing up, as old as I am, I was a big fan of Crocodile Dundee. So I don't mean any offense by that. But is the walkabout a thing, a real thing that happens?
What, do you mean just going for a walk?
Yeah, we can call it that. No, walkabouts are supposed to be some big journey. I guess could take days. As like
That's what Locke from Lost went on.
I didn't watch.
Well,
Lost.
there is a walking path that goes from, if you want to get up your Google Maps, that goes from Perth, Western Australia, all the way down to Albany. It takes a few. It would take probably a few months to do the entire walk.
Can people do this? Like, do they just camp out on the way?
Yeah, some people do it and they camp out along the way, and there's like places you can rest. Like you don't like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've never, obviously, if you can see my face, I'm not the kind of person to go do that, but I've definitely, like, as when you get further down south, a lot more of the tracks become visible because they weave in and out of where all the nice places to go are. So yeah, and also I found the movie, it's Ghost in the Shell. And
with Scarlett
Scarlett
Johansson.
Johansson, yeah.
Just
So
got it.
I've had Scarlett Johansson's chocolate cake, and it is delicious.
He's eating.
It is like
Scarlett
it's like this
Johansson.
big. It's massive.
Really?
I have
Yeah,
I have that
it's-
right up here. I was waiting for the right time to say it. But
Oh, okay.
dang it.
You were ready to explode. So this walking trail, does it go through Dingo Country?
Pilgrimage. That's it. It's a pilgrimage.
Yeah, I think Dingoes is like a once again an up north kind of thing. So it's like in
Up in the
Northern
desert?
Territory. But yeah, I've only, I think if I've ever seen one, it would have been at a zoo, and I can't even think if I have seen one.
See, there are less deadly parts of Australia, Sam. We could visit Australia one day. No, why not?
Spiders.
Spiders exist everywhere.
Not deadly ones.
There's
Oh, these ones like to hide in your shoes.
That's even worse. Nope.
See, I check my shoes here.
so anyway. I was
It's the kind of thing where, like, if you get bitten, you're probably not going to die because there's the benefit of living somewhere where there's a lot of poisonous things is that they've got lots of antivenoms. So if you get bitten by something, unless you're in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to travel, you're probably going to be fine.
Okay.
See there, you hear it from Falconmick. If you get bitten by something in Australia, you might not die.
Might not.
You're probably going to be
That's
fine.
reassuring.
Probably gonna be fine.
You
Okay.
might survive. Have you ever died of a spider bite?
Died.
Not yet. I've
there you go.
been trying.
And he's survived for an amount of time. If he was in high school during the end of Classic, then he's got to be at least an age old. I'm bad at
Well,
thought
I'd
you
say
were-
you're probably as a cool kid growing up, you're probably more likely to. And I'm not going to make that joke.
Oh, but we're all about the slightly inappropriate jokes here. I would love it.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
We,
wow.
we don't say that.
All right. So that was, see, this is why I ask these questions. Is Hot Dog a Sandwich turned into us learning a lot about Australia.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a valuable moment. This is a cultural exchange. We're expanding the horizons of mere casuals,
Yeah.
and we're becoming culturally relevant. So, where
I'm
was
not
my
gonna
question?
lie. I'm a little set off by these comments.
Are you still reading the YouTube? Why do you care? It's not even our podcast.
I said a little set off. I'm not as set off as I was when I first
I
read
thought
it.
they were hilarious. Is there more? Are there worse ones?
No, it's very few comments, but
But look at how many people have watched just to hate us. It's
well,
flattering.
the one
really.
guy's wrong saying that we have absolutely no basis because I have played and looking for raid.
See, I have no basis. I don't remember looking for raid at all. Yet I've decided to have an opinion and speak as if I know what I'm talking
I
about.
was probably just there for people to look at because I had no idea what you were talking about.
You didn't say much.
Now, granted, in my age, I've forgotten most. So the most I know about looking for raid is that I had to press a button to join the queue.
There was a button.
To join the queue.
Sweet.
Okay, next question.
So here's a question that I asked last week, but it got improved. So where do you fall on the casual spectrum? And Dimitri came up with a better spectrum than I did. So one on the spectrum is Sam, who, quite frankly, doesn't really know how to play.
it's just
And
there for
10
fun.
on the spectrum for some reason is me, although I guess if it's a casual spectrum, I'm at the top end of casual. I'm definitely not the top end of players. But as far as a casual spectrum, between Sam, Al being somewhere in the middle, high end of middle, so we don't offend Al, and then me up at the top. And if for whatever reason you're not on the casual spectrum, feel free to choose a level above me. But where would you say you fall on the casual spectrum?
I just literally somewhere in the middle, purely from the fact that I spend more time reading and talking about sort of classic World of Warcraft than I do spending playing it.
See, that's interesting because in our Discord, I think we've probably had more podcast questions from you than anyone else.
Yeah.
So I see all these questions. I'm like, wow, man, Falconmick must really know his stuff. He must be like, I don't know if he's really a casual player. He
And
seems
the
to really know some
scenarios you come
things.
up with.
And the scenarios, I love the scenarios. So
Yeah, I love everything to do with classic World of Warcraft, and so I spend a lot of time just immersing myself in anything to do with any sort of news at all with it and trying to understand what's happening. But in terms of getting time to play, and then also like I've got to choose between playing World of Warcraft and doing a million other things I like doing. So it's like I think it's definitely just purely from how little I play, I'd have to be about a 5.
that's
Like
fair.
all my
But
expertise comes. All my expertise is just
with
thinking I know what I'm talking about.
your love of the game might carry you a little higher on the. But I guess that's a fair answer. I'm sitting here though becoming concerned that Al may be talking back to the commenters on YouTube now.
No, he's messaging Bob.
Oh, okay, what are you messaging? Are you complaining about YouTube to Bob?
Yeah. So do you currently have an active subscription?
Yes, I do. Probably shouldn't, but I do.
Oh, to WoW.
I
Okay.
while I was waiting this morning, I logged on to my poor hardcore priest and gave it another few bars of XP while I was getting ready. But yeah, that's the other thing as well. Is I feel that all the community is starting to just like not feel like a community for me anymore in Wrath of the Lich King because of how like the first of all I lost my original guild because they all transferred to Horde, and then I got a new guild, but it's just like it never felt the same, and it's just like that's actually why I didn't play through TVC was because I didn't reach I accidentally at the start of Vanilla joined literally our server's probably second best rating guild, so I just locked into the best guild. And then when it came time for Burning Crusade, I didn't have the time to get to level 70 quite quick enough, which meant that I lost my spot in the raid because I asked them, oh, do you want me to keep playing a warrior or can I go a mage? And they're like, oh, you can just go play a mage, play whatever you want. And then I played a mage and there was 4 other mages and only 1 spot for a mage.
Oh, that sucks.
So I should have kept them more
were
warrior.
that many warrior spots? I was not.
Oh, they needed they needed tanks. That was the problem. Everyone needed
okay.
tanks. So like for Karazhan especially, so I would have definitely got a spot for Karazhan, and then they would have let me smack things with my sword for the main raid. So it'd be great.
So, quick question for you: what are you doing on August 24th?
August 24th.
I am contemplating having the day off, but I'm a what's it called, a contractor, so if I don't work I don't get paid, which sucks. So the other consideration is because my thing is I love the launch when it's hectic and you can't get anything done. That's by my opinion the best time. So I'm gonna definitely, because it launches at like 6 a.m. my time, I'm gonna be getting up and playing until about probably 9 and then having a break to work, and then once work's over then playing all night.
See, here's how mentally sharp I am. When Al asked what you were doing on the 24th, I leaned to the side and I whispered, "What's on the 24th?" to Sam.
And guess who knew the answer?
Sam knew the
And
answer.
technically, no. Actually, I was wrong. On the 24th, I'll be working because it's not released yet.
That's it'd be the 25th for him
Oh,
because
right.
he's 12 hours ahead of us.
Right.
So
Wait! You're 12 hours ahead of us?
Yep.
Did you Google what the lotto numbers are here in Ontario?
it's Sunday morning right now over there.
Yeah, but
I
they're
know. The
666.
draw is tonight.
They're 666.
Oh, that's beastly. It's actually 7 digits. It's 7 numbers, but it's not 7 digits.
Oh.
It could be. It was never 7 digits. They put a 0 between their one. Okay.
So
So you won't use your future presence to tell me what the winning lottery numbers are.
It's one of the rules when you become an Australian, they make you promise not to let people cheat.
that seems
That's very
selfish.
Starfleet.
Oh, Starfleet's
it's from our favorite show, Stargate, where you're not allowed to let the people from the other planets know about the world.
Al needs to change his pants now.
Yeah, he does.
I own all of it except for Star Trek
Gate.
Continuum.
Gate.
No, Continuum is the movie. Stargate Universe.
Stargate, yes, okay. He's
Yeah,
in
no,
Star
I don't
Trek.
have Universe either. I've got the original series, which season 1 and 2 are actual crap, but then eventually it's really good, and then the last season is crap again, and then Atlantis I've only ever watched once, but like every time I tell myself I should watch it and I don't. But yeah, I like Atlantis too.
What I really liked about Atlantis is that we were watching Jason Momoa before other people thought he was hot.
Did you always think he was hot, Al?
Yeah. Well, it's even better. My TV at home turns on to this random station, which is always playing Baywatch for some reason. And I was doing dishes, getting ready to watch a show. I just turned on my TV, so Baywatch was playing.
Baywatch is still on TV?
And there was a kid version of Jason Momoa on that show.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
So Al spoiled one of my questions. Because one of the questions was, are you going to be playing the new Hardcore Realms? So I think obviously that's a yes.
Yeah, I'm joining. There's a I should get the name right. It is the Cars Modern Infantry, which is
So you're
the
another one of the
level 5
dwarves. Yeah, people have hit us up
Yeah.
to join the dwarves. Should we just suck it up and join the dwarves?
I've actually been thinking. I haven't actually made my RP profile yet, but I'm thinking about purposely getting the cowardly buff and then have it be that I lost my my party in that the cave which has the Yetis in it. So they've been my RP is I lost all my friends in the cave, and now I'm a cowardly priest who can't muster the courage to do things. So that could be my RP, and I also have a negative 20% buff, so it'll be more fun.
That's kind of cool. So you'd only have to renew it like once every 3 days?
3 days, yeah.
That's not bad.
There's actually going to be an entire guild that's leveling from 1 to 60 self. I'm pretty sure they're self-found as well, and everyone has to have the coward debuff as a requirement of being in the guild.
What?
That would be awesome.
That would be
An entire guild of cowards. You have to be a coward to be in the guild.
I would totally join that just for fun. But the Caswodan Infantry, that's an RP guild, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
So do we have to talk like this?
Unfortunately,
Even if you're not on
mistakes.
Discord, even if you're just sitting down by yourself playing solo self-found and nobody else is on, you're required to talk to yourself in that voice. You have to narrate the whole thing to yourself.
I've done that already. It's a little bit of my role play.
So dwarves, what can dwarves be? I know they can be hunters. I know they can be priests. I know they can be paladins. I know they can be warriors. Can they be rogues? I said hunters. That was the first thing I said.
Yeah, they can be rogues.
Can they be mages?
No.
No? Weren't you
No.
a dwarf mage one? Oh, no, you were a gnome mage. They start in the same place.
Warlock.
Can they be warlock?
No.
No,
Don't
that's
think
not
so.
true. So they can't be... Priest is really the only cloth caster that a dwarf can be.
Yeah,
then.
probably. And that's what I'm going to be doing as well, because I'm lazy and it's the easiest option.
It's a melee heavy guild.
Now, a dwarf priest has the bonus spell.
Fear ward.
The fear
ward,
ward,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's cool.
That is a cool idea. Because I know we were originally planning on making our own hardcore guild, the hard man mode. Don't knock my tripod over. Why are you messing with my tripod? But it's everyone we talk to about hardcore is like, yeah, are you going to join the dwarves? So I'm thinking we might just end up having to join the dwarves just purely out of social pressure, because we don't want to be. We don't want to. No, it's not peer pressure, because
Dwarven shaman?
we're not all peers.
No.
We're of different ages and abilities. It's social pressure. It's community pressure.
My reason for wanting to join is because I found the most enjoyable part of the classic World of Warcraft is doing community things, and they're already organizing all these community events before the servers are even live, so they're the kind of guild that's going to purposely make a point to do things in game, and that's what's fun about the game, is doing things in it. So you can find something fun in the game other than raiding. So that's why I want to be with them, because that way as well, even if you're not level 60, if they're doing an event, you can just get there, and hopefully if it's above your level, hopefully you can get someone to help you sneak your way into that zone.
See, that sounds like a lot of fun to me, because I personally, I'm not feeling any desire to raid hardcore. That just doesn't sound like an appealing thought to me. I want to play the hardcore servers, but I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather do the community things. I'd rather level and and hang out and do RP events and stuff.
Oh, and then
sounds like
even
way
if
more
you just
fun.
get bored and stop leveling at like level 20, you'll still be able to do all the little events they're doing, and you'll still be able to come in and just mess around with people.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're about too, with the mere casuals thing. That's why we push our Discord so much. We wanted to build like a community of people that get together, and it's not just about raiding. I mean, we're trying to get a little raid crew together, but that's not what we're all about. We're all about having a WoW
I
community
feel
where
like
we're
that's
all
not
like
ever
having
gonna
fun.
happen.
Yeah,
If it doesn't happen, it
what
doesn't
you do
happen.
is
We'll have
just
fun.
absorb the Kazmatan inventory guild as your own. Just like start doing Dwarven RP as you're doing the podcast calls.
Oh, we should do after the hardcore servers drop. We should do an entire episode just in bad dwarven RP accents.
How about
Yeah.
series?
A series. I don't feel like that will be tolerated beyond one.
I don't feel like you could do an entire episode without just dying inside.
You know, you'd be surprised what I can do without dying inside. But
He's already dead inside. That's why he can do so much.
you cannot kill what is already dead.
So
So
happy you love your life.
The dead can
I said
never
I'm dead
die.
inside, Sam. I'm
No.
smiling on the
The
outside.
dead can never die.
Is that a thing? Is my thing not the thing?
I think they're two different things.
I don't know. I
One's
quote
from
things,
Game
but
of
I don't
Thrones.
remember them. I don't know what mine's from. It might be just a misquote of the other thing. So hardcore is going to happen. You're going to play hardcore. Are you excited about hardcore?
Yep, I'm more excited for what's it called? Anything to do with Classic Plus as a potential segue.
That was the next question.
Yeah,
I wanted to at least give the hardcore just another second, because I try not to go too much on hardcore, because I feel like I'm going to make myself sick of hardcore before it even drops. So
continuing on with that, then I feel that, I mean, I'm not going to get up in arms and upset that they're not enforcing solo founds self-made, whatever the heck it is. But I definitely feel that that's the only way to play the game. Otherwise, I'm watching videos from, I forget what it's called. It's another YouTuber who makes an actual metric ton of like how to make gold in WoW kind of videos. I don't remember his name, but he's been doing hardcore videos recently, and he's talking about how he's going to have a banking alt to send his gold to, so if he dies, he doesn't lose all his gold. And it's like, that's the point.
yeah, the point
mean,
of hardcore is you
you
lose
shouldn't-
things when you die.
You shouldn't stop people from doing what they want to do just for
No,
my own sake. Because solo found self-made. I don't even want to do dungeons with people when I'm doing that properly. So it doesn't matter what other people do, but it's kind of fun when you're walking around and everyone's playing by the same rules, rather than walking around and this person's got all this nice gear and it's like, well, probably just bought it and sent it to himself. I can't tell if he actually did just earn it.
Yeah, I'm probably I'm gonna avoid the auction house in the mail personally. I want nothing to do with it.
Oh, that's the thing they could do though. It's probably too late, but they could have just given people the option, when they start out, have the solo found self-made rules as like an option where if you check it on, those abilities when you click on them. So if you click on the mailbox, it'll send you a message saying, "Sorry, unless you turn this off, you can't use it." If you want to use the auction house, it'll do the same thing, and then have like a buff on you to say this person is solo found self-made. That's all I needed. If I had that, then that would have been perfect.
So something similar to like the Soul of Iron thing.
Yeah.
Is it called that? Soul of Iron? I feel like
Yeah,
it's called.
Soul of Iron.
Okay, so next question, because you started pushing us towards this one. So I've got here, I'm going to read my question word for word here. It sounds like Classic Plus may become a reality. What are your thoughts on it, and what do you want to see added to the game? Raids, new zones, new classes, races, other? Because I feel like I'm not reading the question anymore. I'm just talking. I feel like you've asked some scenarios in the Discord to do with this. So I'm throwing it back at you. What do you want to see? What do you want from Classic Plus?
Originally, when I read this question, I was like, well, I don't really know if I'm going to be able to think of anything to say, so I'll quickly just make like a little notes, and then I've made an entire page of notes, so I'll try to maybe not say them all because it's too many. But I think like the main thing I'm looking for is just to have more of the two continents of Azeroth fleshed out. So there are a few examples in the game where like there's been like story chains that have got like halfway through and then just stop. Like there's one called like the Portents of Uldum or something. It's when you do the rings at the end of Uldaman that give you a quest, and it gives you some nice rewards at the end. There's like a secondary quest that you can get after that lets you go to these gates, and you start doing an inspection, and then it just stops. If you want to like
Al
see
loves
more-
Aldwar. I can't. I'm
Yeah.
so bad at that one.
I know there was a quest line that just abruptly stops.
Yeah, if you want to see more of those, Willie has an entire video on it, and it's great. And it's just like watching that video makes me think, wow, there's all these things that they could have been done. So basically, that's all the loose ends that never got tied up. It'd be great if they continue those stories along, so you could have more of the original game. That's basically what I want, just the original game, but more. But I don't want more as in like I don't want like I don't think that classes and I don't think we need to add new classes. I don't think we need to rechange them to be TBC or Wrath of the Lich King's talents. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if they did, but I don't think it's needed. And all they need to do really is treat it like they used to treat the original game when it came out, where if someone was doing really well, they would buff and nerf people to get things in line, rather than what they did, which was how the stats are how the stats are, and at the what's it called? So warriors are going to be good. There's nothing that's never going to dethrone them. I want them to not dethrone warrior. I don't care if they're top. I want to have other people closer to them. That's all I really want changed in terms of balance.
So just buff some of the less successful DPS classes.
Yeah, they could go and do some itemization changes and maybe add a few key items so that like druids and priests could be a bit more viable in their caster forms, and they could even do stuff like, I mean, I don't know if I like this one just because it feels too raffy, but they could potentially add gemming in, so that way, if that's good for two reasons, it lets the class, if it's got mana problems, apply some weighting towards their stats to help fix those problems. And it would also mean that if they were to change, say, the hit rating to be on a points base rather than percentage base, they could once again make it so that rather than the only items that mattering for a warrior being the hit items, they could make it so that you could potentially use different pieces of armor and then just gem in a bit of extra hit if you've not got the right amount of hit. And it also mean that like warriors start out stronger earlier, which means that if you then nerf them a bit, it's buffed by the fact that you've given them the ability to actually hit a target when they're swinging. So that'd be good. But I think that's like, I don't really care terribly about the end game and rating for if it was a Classic Plus. I feel that they need to do something to do with expanding out the continents a little bit to add maybe like in like level 40 for Alliance is quite it's quite renowned as being terrible in original vanilla, because you actually have to grind mobs to get from a certain level to a certain level because you just run out of quests. So if they were to at that point add an entirely new zone that you could go to and do more quests in, because I don't feel that grinding stuff's fun. I mean, I didn't have the problem during vanilla because I just did dungeons when that happened, but if someone wanted to just quest, I don't see why they shouldn't be able to.
Go ahead, you were going to talk.
So I did come up with an idea of a change I'd like to see. So we've all seen this cloth stuff come out with strength.
This what? Sorry.
The cloth gear come out with strength and
Oh, like the random stat stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so.
Mage.
Well, this wasn't random, so I'm wondering if they could make a priest class that is more of a fighter, because I think that was one of the original ideas.
Like a cleric.
Yeah. And also, where do you get the news that this Classic Plus may be happening?
It's just there's been a lot of talk, and it's sounding like it might. There's no like concrete news.
Okay.
But I know like the Classic Plus team at WoW rehired guy whose name I forget. Metzen? Was his name Metzen? Chris Metzen? Rehired him, and he was one of the devs involved in the like original making of Classic, like vanilla WoW. I may be wrong on that. Am I wrong on that? I feel like I'm right on that.
So.
I think they rehired him, so there's speculation that they're going to look into the Classic Plus because of that hire. And there's just been so much talk about it. Like it sounds like it's, and with all like the like borderline Classic Plus style stuff they've done to Wrath, like adding the alpha and beta dungeons, adding other stuff that they've added, like class balancing stuff and all that. Like it feels like a thing that's going to happen. Like it's not, I made it sound like it's confirmed in the news or something. Okay. It's not confirmed.
It kind of is.
Is it kind of?
Yeah, I mean, bringing in another podcast up, the Countdown to Classic, the one that you guys can't seem to find time to listen to, which makes time.
I do listen to parts of it.
Yeah, there's an episode called Brian's Song where he gets in and he interviews Brian Burning, which is like the ex-lead developer. And as he's going, first of all, if you haven't seen that episode, it is probably the best episode to watch if you care about how this game is being made, because he does go into it quite a lot without obviously doing wrong by Blizzard. But one thing where like Josh asks him that the next seasonal server that's coming, like, is it just going to be the same level of awesomeness, or is it going to be like, are they going to go beyond it? And he said that it's I believe he said something around the lines that it's going to be quite a bigger thing. So I think that was his way of hinting, even though he's not on the team anymore, they were working quite hard when he was working there on the next season, and it's going to be more of a seasonal server than the other one was. So it could be that could be the hint that the next seasonal server isn't seasonal; it's going to be the plus.
So that's cool. That's a scoop. We got the scoop right there, the news that Brian Burr. Well, I mean, the other podcast had it first, but Brian Burr. So he's the guy. He's the guy that Blizzard let go for questionable reasons, correct?
He didn't. No, Blizzard didn't let him go. Blizzard. He quit because
he quit for like. He was standing up for something. I remember the story. I just don't remember the details. I'm so bad.
Yeah, but there's a practice in management called, I think, something or other called stacking, where basically you get all your employees and you stack them from 0 to best. Yeah. And the below percent they don't get bonuses. They get told off. So even if you've got literally the world's greatest developer, it's just he works with 5 of the other world's greatest developers. He doesn't get a bonus. He doesn't get a raise. He gets basically treated like the ugly child and doesn't get anything. So he was able to push back on that for a year or so during, I think, the pandemic. He was able to get it away, but then they brought it back up, and he thought it was gone forever. So he stood his ground and said he talks about it once again in that episode where he actually like got loud and upset during a meeting and quit basically straight after they announced it. But he was very upset about it.
I remember watching that all unfold on Twitter a year or two ago when that happened. Yeah. I just forgot the details because I'm so bad at details. I forget things all the time.
So I did kind of divert away from my original question about the priest and the strength stats.
Question or statement? Because I feel like that was more of a statement.
Well, there's a statement because there's a lot of things leading, and there was, I forget where I read it, but there was rumors that priests would have a strength build for combat,
like originally, or like something. Yeah. Well, yeah. There was a lot of things. Like I feel like there was a lot of things in the original development of WoW that they briefly planned but didn't hold on to. You know what I mean? Like I feel like most games like this have that, where they'll go into it and they'll be like, we're going to do this, and this, and then the higher ups say, okay, we've only got the budget for this, and this, so they have to drop a few things, or there's like creative changes. Because, like, did you know that there's an entire city under Ironforge?
Yeah,
I'm like up in here. There's there's an old Ironforge underneath Ironforge that you used to be able to clip through walls to get to.
You still can.
Can you still? I wasn't sure if they'd fixed that or not. But
you can get under Stormwind too.
We can't get into AQ40, but we can get under Ironforge.
Well, yeah. We're just bad at trying to exploit wall stuff.
No, they fix that wall.
Did they actually
can't even get
it?
into the little clip where you need to get
I wonder
that's another thing. Yeah. Another thing they could do is a part of. I mean, I don't know why they would, because it's just a lot of effort and doesn't really do much. They technically could take the original. I think it was in like Alpha. The Ironforge had like all of these, like it was like a 2-story. The entire thing was 2 stories, and there was like all these bridges going over stuff. So they could try to re-implement that actual original Ironforge if they wanted to. But I mean, the only reason why they do that would be just to have people squeal when they saw it. There'd be no other real reason.
Does there need to be another reason? I mean, to make the player base happy should be the motivation of game developers, shouldn't it?
Oh, it's just a lot of effort, and then it would mean they'd need to make sure that the existing quest givers and everything still are reachable, and it just seems like a lot of effort and a lot of for nothing other than the fact that it would be cool.
It would be cool, though. I would like to see that.
So while we were chatting about this, I did add Countdown Classic to my list, and I did add to watch later the classic lead Brian Birmingham. Is that the one that you wanted me to watch?
That's the guy.
I need to look it up, but there's for recommendations. If you go to their podcast Discord and ask them, they'll be able to tell you. There's like one where he talked to one of the original developers of Vanilla, and that was probably the best episode. So you can go and find that one.
Well, the one after it is Classic Plus / Vanilla 2 speculation fueled by Blizzard president. That was 5 days ago.
That's a different person, the Blizzard president. But 5 days ago, okay. I do need to listen. I need to listen to it more, but I have so many podcasts I listen to that I run out of time in a week.
Well, The best thing about it is that this is the podcast you listen to because he sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes brings on people that are extraordinarily knowledgeable and passionate, and it's just fun listening to people and talk about their opinions.
So that's why we've never been on
we'll
there.
never-
Yeah. we didn't make the knowledgeable cut. So yeah, that's all the questions I've got. So I also have whatever questions Al or Sam. Do you guys have anything to talk to Falconmick about? Ask him.
We've
Like,
been asking our questions.
I know, but I
Well-
I put
I,
that on the end, and I had to acknowledge
Well,
that.
maybe one more thing for Classic Plus that I think would be pretty good, but it was a Bob idea. Is that he had on his podcast? He talked about how he'd like to have the ability to have like because that's what one of the I'll say actually this is a pretty big one. One of the biggest problems I also have with Vanilla and Classic is that everyone is a hunter warrior, or they are a dwarf priest, or they are a human rogue. Like they're never. You don't see many dwarf rogues around. You don't see many gnome warriors. Just purely because it's stupid to do so. You're hamstringing yourself because you don't have the best racials. So Bob had a really good idea, which was that there should be some sort of quest line you can do that lets you go and swap your racials so that you can have the better one. It can't be something you can just toggle whenever you want. It would need to be behind some form of effort, so it feels like you've earned the ability to have a sword specialization as a gnome. Or yeah, so I feel like if they were to add that, that would be also great because it would help with some of. Well, first of all, stop just seeing 1,000 human warriors, and also then maybe have the ability to have it so that people don't feel like they have to be horde because they need to get berserking from Toril or something like that. It'd let them play whatever they want to play. And speaking of that, the last one as well is I'd love to have more class race combinations. So it like specifically where is it? I wrote all these down and I can't find them. Like like another one. It'd be awesome to have a Tauren rogue and then call it something like what's it called? I can find this.
You wrote things down for this? You're more
I don't know. I did because I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to think of anything. So I said I'd love to be able to like have a Tauren rogue and call it invisible.
It took me a split second. I was waiting for the joke, and then I caught it. And I was like, oh yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't get it right away because I was drinking coffee. I didn't want to spit it all over the place.
Oh yeah, that would be. See, that would be cool though. I mean, aside from the unlocking new pun possibilities, just allowing every race to be whatever class they want. I mean, why not?
I feel that maybe they can't all of them, but it'd be good to have just a few more, like so that. Like for druids as well. I mean, probably now they couldn't do druids because there'd be too much effort in making the NPCs work. But it'd be nice just to have a few more.
That's one of the main reasons I don't play druid because I don't like either of the druid races. So that's one of several reasons I've never played a druid. They're too hard, so I give up. I don't like the races and. Yeah, those are mainly the two reasons. They're too hard and I don't like the races. So if they allowed, say, a human druid, that would eliminate at least one of the problems. And you know what? They can put the druid NPCs in Old Ironforge. They got space. I would like that.
Well, there's space in Stormwind too. If they ever turn the gates off that whirling,
Oh yeah, they've got those places that are just completely locked off as well.
Yeah, that was the portal to the character housing that was going to be added.
Yeah.
When was that a plan in the plans from the beginning? Character housing.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been skeptical of player housing. I've never gotten the point.
There was also stuff for the Burning Crusade in the first game that you could break into, if I recall correctly.
Well, I think didn't they originally? I'm probably wrong again because I'm usually wrong, or as Bob says, always wrong. But wasn't a lot of the Burning Crusade content originally planned for vanilla?
I believe.
But then they ended up splitting it off and doing
They had the Hellfire Peninsula originally being planned to be in there, and the Black Temple was going to be a raid in vanilla.
So I'm not wrong.
Nope.
Yeah. So there, Bob. I'm right sometimes.
I hate to rain her down on your parade.
What are you doing on my parade?
What?
Oh, sorry, the guy that made the comment is that we don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, see, I don't remember the names of every person on YouTube that's left.
Well, I only remember
You're
that because
already-
if I wanted to make a comment back, I could use his name in the comments.
Yeah, this is already getting to you. This is going to be with you this is your new spell skull incident. 2 years from now, if we're still making this podcast, you're
Well-
going to be sitting here. Remember that time on YouTube? That guy said I didn't know
it
something.
was. Whoops, sorry, I keep bumping this. Sorry, it was. I'm going to tell you, it bothered me a lot right at the beginning of this, but unlike
find it hilarious.
unlike Spell Skull, it's not bothering me anymore.
Really? Because you bring it up an awful lot. Sam, are you bothered by
I can
YouTube
talk about
comments?
things.
No, I didn't read it.
They said you were ugly.
Do you know they didn't?
I-
Okay, you know what?
They were probably
Talking
actually
about
talking
something
about me
is
and
not
Al.
being obsessed.
Did someone
You know
actually say
right?
that?
No, nobody said that. I'm just joking. I just wanted you to have something to latch onto. I feel like you're getting tired, so I'm trying to involve you. Sam has to get up for work in
A few hours.
7 hours.
Wait, you're working tomorrow?
Yeah, she worked this morning. What time
Oh,
did you
yeah.
up? She was up at like 5 o'clock this morning,
It was up at 4:30.
4:30 this morning, and 4:30 tomorrow morning. So Sam's
I woke
tired.
up at 5 this
okay.
morning.
Good for you, Alan.
That's the time I started work.
Yeah, but you woke
So
up
do you
a half
have-
hour before me. I started work at 9.
Well,
I
they
do have a-
argue about work schedules. Do you have anything more to say about Classic Plus, or can we move on to the news and so on?
I have another
Only other
question for-
thing would be just to prioritize faction balance and like maybe have some GMs looking out for bots. I mean, like try to treat it like the original game when it first came out, where they cared. That'd be good.
They're not
What
gonna look out for bots.
What
I can
about
tell
no
you that.
faction?
That's what I was gonna say. Faction balance or drop factions entirely. I mean, leave them
I've
there. but
got
make
to
them
have someone to hate.
I guess.
Do you want a beer?
Do I want a beer? Sure. Why not?
Why didn't we start that when we started? I would have had one
Because
then.
I was having a coffee.
Yeah, thanks for the coffee.
Now Al's done his coffee, so he wants to offer.
Did you want a coffee before you go to bed?
No,
Do you want a beer before you go to bed?
no. But I have a question.
Sam, could you grab me a beer?
Yeah, did you
kidding.
bring one?
Al, grab us some beers while Sam asks a question. Sam has something to say. Don't
kind of beer do you
interrupt her. Grab me the green one. I don't remember what it's called. Something to do with buds. It's the really hoppy green one in my 6-pack. Sam, what were you going to say? You have things to say.
Question. It's the same question we asked Dimitri. How did you find us, and what made you want to continue listening to us?
Oh,
Forgot about
I found you. I found you through what's it called? Bob's podcast, Warcraft Reloaded. So he was talking about you, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a listen. And then the first episode, I was like, well, this is crap because you guys didn't know what the hell you're talking about. And I was like, this is just like it just didn't think it was very good. And then I
It
listened to
wasn't,
another one.
to be fair.
I listened to another one, and I started to realize that it wasn't a World of Warcraft podcast. It was a podcast, and it's just don't treat it like a World of Warcraft podcast, and it's very enjoyable. And then also that you still, and I mean, it's also it's fun listening to. It's just fun listening to people who are very passionate and excited about something. So even if you're not always right or don't realize that there's a expansion coming out on the 24th, it's still what's it called? Fun hearing people just be excited about the same thing you're excited about.
So you said you listened to the first episode, thought it was crap, which I agree because our first episode
First
is so
sound.
bad.
You
Oh
said
no! I listened to about and one in the middle. I just wasn't ready to appreciate what the podcast was.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, how far ahead did you skip to find one that you actually enjoyed?
You know, I started around the middle. I just wasn't I wasn't ready for it. I mean, after I listened to a few more, I started to realize what was enjoyable about the show. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just the talking, not the content.
There was-
arguments.
The arguments
arguing.
are fun. There was a few in the middle. There was a few episodes we made. It's not even really the middle now. I feel like it's the middle of the first half. But there's a few episodes that we made that, looking back, like it's very experimental. It's us just kind of thinking, okay, what can we sit here and go on about and have people actually listen? And somehow, no matter how bad the episodes got, we kind of maintained a fairly regular listenership, which was bizarre to me. Like, I always think back, I can't remember what episode it was, but there was the one episode where we were driving out of town to go to a flea market, and we were like, let's just bring the laptop and sit the microphone in the cup holder and just shout at the mic while we're driving. And we did that, and that was like 45 minutes of that episode. And people listened to it. And then they listened to the next one. And I always ask myself, why are you people doing this to yourselves? But I feel like we've at least made an attempt to... Is my phone dying? Oh, okay. Plug that in there. I feel like we've made somewhat of an attempt to be almost reasonable, responsible podcasts? Would you say we've gotten better or worse as we've started trying harder?
I'd say just.
Don't
I
feel
mean,
the
like,
need
I think
to
the thing. No. I'm trying to think how to say it. I think the good thing about your podcast is the disorganization and the not being on topic. So you should try not to do that. Like keep off topic. Keep especially it's very important that you ask your guests about things to do with hot dogs and sausages, because if you don't, then we might talk about WoW, which would be very bad. So yeah,
Those
like that
questions
kind
are
of thing.
very
Like I'm
important.
being serious. No, I'm being very damn serious. The podcast, you wouldn't have to talk about World of Warcraft for it to be just as entertaining, and that's why you need to focus on going off topic. Al needs to be rude and say things that aren't appropriate. And if he doesn't, then that's just he's doing everyone a service.
You're very rude.
Oh, you need Al's work stories and this week with Al. AI news this week or whatever it was.
Yeah,
They're the fun topics.
Yeah.
I'd actually come up with a question that I think you just answered before I asked. But I said, as a listener of ours, and as a podcast, which is relatively new, and we're almost a year in, for our own personal growth, do you think we should get a little more serious?
He said not to change.
No, I know.
No,
This is the question I was thinking up,
Oh,
which I keep bumping to that. Now I'm turning into Sam.
I haven't even
This
touched.
there are different categories of shows. There are informational shows, and then there are
There's us.
and then there are this is what's the word? Entertainment. So this is more of an entertainment show. It doesn't have to have all the latest, up to date, most correct information. It's about
Thank
being
God.
fun to listen to.
Now, do you think we should do a little more research and maybe have a little bit more
No,
information?
there's no point.
He just told
It's
me.
good to do. You need to do the absolute bare minimum research you can do that'll get you something to talk about, and then something to get off topic about, and that's good.
Here's the thing I've learned about research. Okay, what I've learned that I can do, and this has been successful so far. I go on this podcast or I go on Bob's podcast, and I say something that I don't know if it's right, but I say it anyways, and I say it with confidence. People listening feel the need to contact me and correct me, and now I know the answer. I don't have to do research. People will do the research for me.
You know,
and send it to me. I don't have to do
It's
any
an
work.
entire thing.
I
It's
just have to be
the best
wrong on the
way. The best
internet.
way to get someone to teach you how to do something is to talk with confidence that you know what you're talking about, and you have a million people instantly come out and give you extremely detailed advice on what the actual thing is. It legitimately is a thing.
Yeah,
No, I
no,
like
it's something I learned a long time ago.
Yeah.
That if I'm wrong enough, someone will do the work for me and figure out the right answer. You don't like it?
Nope.
Well,
So-
it's very hoppy beer.
So as I worked this week, and I had to go to the
Hold
bathroom.
on. Pause for somewhat
News
interesting
story.
work stories with
Oh.
Al. I can't remember what it's called. Pause for Al's work story segment. It's time for almost interesting work stories with Al. Intro. Pause for Al's work segment intro.
So as I worked this week, and I had to go to the bathroom.
Cool.
That was a good story, Al.
Yeah, so I walked into the bathroom, and it was a sit-down job today. So I walked into the stalls, and there was one that was free, and I walked in, and it looked like
You can have this. I'm done with this.
it looked like it had rained in that particular stall. Like the seat was covered, and I'm like, seriously? And I walk out just so everybody could hear me at work. I said, I don't care if you're
Do-
going to use the stalls.
Let me stop
No,
you for a
no,
second.
no,
Do I
no,
have
no.
to look interested because I've already heard the story? Should I mime that I don't know where this is
Oh,
going?
yeah, I told you the story yesterday. So no,
I'll pretend I'm interested.
So I said, seriously? I said it aloud for everybody here. I said, I don't care if you have to use these stalls, if you got to just pee, but if you can't not hit the seat, sit your ass down. And my work buddy was in there, and he turned it into a gaming thing for me right away. And he says, yeah, if you can't do range, switch to melee.
Here's the thing, though. When I use a toilet, I generally sit down for both.
Oh, yeah, I got to be honest. me
Because,
too.
I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I have a cell phone.
Yeah, I said
And
it
that
was using-
cell phone has the internet. And if I'm going to be in the bathroom, I'm going to stay there for a few minutes because it's peaceful. So I don't care what I'm doing. I'm going to sit my butt down and
So
I'm going to get on
you
my
are
phone.
the meme.
Even if you have
Probably.
to just pee for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
you'll
I
sit down,
and
on
open
the
my phone.
toilet with your phone for an hour.
No.
So is that where you normally disappear to when
I
need
sit
you?
down. I sit down on my toilet.
That's what he does
and I-
after the week.
Oh,
Yeah.
My dad was well known for disappearing 45 minutes at a time into the bathroom. And I know why. I sometimes
and
I live
then one
alone, and I
day-
sometimes disappear into the bathroom for 45 minutes.
And then one day he disappeared into the bathroom, and you didn't see him for 20 years.
There's a time where I'm sitting in the bathroom just reading my phone, and I'm sitting there going, oh crap, I can't. Well, no pun intended. Oh crap, I can't feel my legs anymore.
You get a squatty potty.
I'll need a squatty potty. It'll help it come out better. Yeah, I tell you that I also had a difficult time ordering donuts this week.
No, Al, what happened?
So I went to a certain Tim Hortons, one where your son used to work.
Okay, Shimon?
Yeah. So not that I need donuts, but I was coming back from
Nobody needs donuts.
I was coming back from
People want donuts. Do they have donuts in Australia?
Yeah, what's cool, but they're up the other way around there.
Nut doughs?
You know, we've even got what's called. We had Krispy Kreme come to Perth like it's 2 years ago, and it's like the best thing that's ever happened in my life.
Yeah, they had like a Boston cream version donut, which was the first Krispy Kreme I've ever seen, but they don't do that anymore. Now it's
No,
the
Krispy
honey
Kreme's
glazed.
boring.
Okay, if you go to
It's
the
the best.
Krispy Kreme shop, you can get all the fun stuff.
There's a Krispy Kreme shop
Right.
with fun stuff.
There's one in Scarborough.
So I'm in this drive-through,
Yeah, we're listening down.
and I was coming back from meeting my new grandchild. By the way, I'm a grandfather now.
Good
He's
job.
old.
I'm old.
You look like a grandfather.
He does.
Thank you. So I don't really need the donuts. Maybe this was just Karma's way of making sure I didn't get them. But I drove up to the window. And I said, "I'll take a medium black coffee because that's the best way to drink it."
Medium?
Black.
Black.
Medium's the size. And I'll take 2 sour cream glazed donuts, please. Which, ironically, are like those Krispy Kreme donuts I was just complaining about.
No, they're different.
So they said, "Okay, that's fine. Let me just take a look. I don't know if I have the sour cream glazed." So they went back, and they looked. Says, "We have them, but they're just dipped and they're still wet, so they'll be a little bit sticky."
That's the best way to eat
Yeah.
them.
Not when you're driving. So
Anytime. I'm going to tell you
So-
about my donut story when you're done this.
yeah, so I said, "Well, do you have any other donuts?" And she goes, "Oh, well, glazed donuts. We have like apple fritters." She named off a couple glazed donuts. I said, "Okay." She only listed glazed donuts. And I said, "All right, I'll have some apple fritters." "Yeah, but they're being glazed." I said, "Do you have any other donuts?" She goes, "I have other donuts, but they're not glazed." I was like, "You know what? I'll take the coffee. Thank you."
Yeah, your eyes glazed over.
Like, why is it just difficult to order a donut from Tim Hortons?
Everything is difficult ordering fast food.
At what point did I converse with her and say, "I'm only interested in the glazed versions of your donuts"?
I have 2 stories. So, story A is my donut story. So, I used to bake. Okay, so back in the olden days, when I was a young person in high school, donut shops used to bake their own donuts like in the store.
I was there.
So like I was a baker. I made the donuts. I'd go in there at like 11 p.m. at night, and I'd bake the donuts overnight, and I'd have them ready for the morning, right?
Mhm.
So the best thing I think I ever ate as a teenager was I would make these donuts fresh, and then you stick them on the glazing rack, and you dump the warm glaze over the hot donuts, and then just eat them immediately. Well, they're still like hot and greasy and just covered in this warm, viscous white fluid, and they just melt in your mouth. And the best thing is the chocolate, like the chocolate crullers, the chocolate walnut crullers.
Like a coffee time?
When you stick them on the rack hot,
Oh,
and then you
wait.
just cover them in the white glaze, and
You
then
worked
you
at
just
Coffee Time.
stuff that whole thing in your mouth. I worked at Country Style.
Oh.
It was the best thing. Like, it was amazing. I ate too many donuts. My dad owned the donut shop, so I was allowed to steal.
Yeah, but you didn't
But-
actually bake them. Weren't
No,
they
I
deep fried?
did. Well,
What do you
yeah.
have down there for donut shops? Falconmick?
Uh,
Just Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
Just Krispy
Yeah,
Kreme?
they're recent. Up until then, it's just been Dunkin'. I don't even know if Dunkin'. It's just mostly little small one-off shops, and there's occasional chains, but like I think they're all gone now. So it's basically just Krispy Kreme now, which is good because it's the only type I like. Well, actually, no. There's the best donut in the world is from a place called the Miami Bakehouse, which started out down the road from where I live, and they've recently, like in the last 10 years, expanded all over my
So the Miami-
Western Australia.
Miami
the-
Bakehouse is Australian?
The oh no,
Miami, Australia.
Is that a thing?
But basically they're like the best bakehouse ever. They got really good food. It's just stupidly expensive, but you can just come over and get one. It'll be better that way. They have a jam donut, which is it's the size of almost like a bun. It's really really big and it's extremely fluffy. And they've got the most ludicrous amount of sugar all over it. So it's like when you eat this, your face, like this beard of mine, just becomes white with sugar. And then on the inside, it's got like, you know how sometimes you get a jam donut and it's like they're very skimpy on the jam, like there's barely anything in there. Well, this has got way too much jam, but in a good
I got
way.
a story for that. I'll interrupt you later.
Yeah, but what's it called? The jam they use as well is like, you know how some jams they're like got quite a lot of sugar. Well, this one, like, you can actually like feel and taste the texture of the too much sugar. It's just like so good. It's like extremely sugared jam, and it's just like that. It's just the best donut in the world. But if I can't have that, I'll have a Krispy Kreme just purely because I'm boring. I like the ones which aren't what's it called? Fantastical. Just regular donut with sugar on it, basically.
I'm lucky that all the bakeries that are that good near me are just far enough that it's inconvenient to go to. Because if I had access to that stuff every day, I would have died years ago. Like it's just not healthy and I want it too badly.
It's an interesting factoid. At the time that you were working in Country Style, I don't know if it's the exact same time, it was around 99. I was working in Tim Hortons.
It was while I was playing EverQuest.
Has Tim Hortons punctured
They're not in Australia.
The area of Australia?
I don't think so.
No. Have you heard of Tim Hortons?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We've been talking about it for about 10 minutes.
Sweet.
He's been seeing your cup too.
Oh, yeah.
That you didn't bring anybody else.
Yeah, I was greedy. So when I worked in the back there, I didn't bake the donuts, but I did the pastries and I finished the donuts.
Like finish eating them?
So I would take like the sour cream glaze.
You'd finish them off.
Back then we had one called a honey stick. It was really good. But I would glaze them and let them dry. Then glaze them again and let them dry.
Oh, see, that's no.
And then
It gets too thick. You don't want that much glaze on there.
And then the ones that you're talking about, so you're talking about skimping on the jam. I was filling up the Timbits, which were just smaller versions that we'd always fill sometimes, and I would double jam those suckers in, triple jam those suckers in. So
He'd just be back there pumping those donuts.
yeah, it was a lot of sugar. Yeah, so I enjoyed that a lot.
They used to
When
call
Alan
them
looked at the creams in
Alan
them.
or Boston cream, whatever your last name is. I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Go ahead, it doesn't matter now. What was that you said there, Falconmick?
I'll say, do you like to jam your cream into them when no one was looking as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
So my other story, my fast food story, because you were talking about like service at the donut shops, right?
Yeah.
So
you talking
me
about
and
Burger
Sam,
King?
me and Sam and a variety of children went to Ottawa this past week. So what's that look?
I got another story.
Well, stop. I'm trying to tell my story.
So we were in the middle of a storm.
So we're going to Ottawa, Ottawa is a city in Canada. For those of you who don't know, it is the capital city of Canada. For those of you who don't know, it's where the government is. For those of you who don't know, so we were on our way into Ottawa, and we just hit this wall of a storm, like bad storm, like driving
Like
rain.
everyone was pulling
to
over.
the point where like we were on the highway and people were pulling over and like parking their cars under overpasses because there was no visibility. The road was starting to flood. It was insane. So we stopped and we figured out a detour. I opened up the weather radar and I kind of mapped out a route that would take us out of this like kind of dangerous storm.
Yeah.
And we ended up going a bit down to the south and the east, and we went through kind of the south half of Ottawa and got out of this storm just enough that we felt like we needed a break because this was around lunchtime. So we stopped. First, we stopped at a Boston Pizza. Are you familiar with Boston Pizza? Is that an Australian thing as well?
It's not an Australian thing, but I'd listen to enough American stuff that I know it is.
So he knows Boston Pizza. So we stopped at a Boston Pizza, and this the power situation, the electricity situation was spotty at this point in Ottawa because of the storm. So we pulled up to the Boston Pizza, and we're just about to get out of the van, and it's still pouring rain. And one of the Boston Pizza employees was nice enough to rush up to the window and motion to us that they were closed. So we didn't get out and walk all the way to the door, which I thought was nice. She let us know. So we get back in the van and we start driving, and we're like, okay, so we've stopped with the intention of getting food. So we are all now hungry to the point of...
And we all shifted,
of
so we
like
all have to
just
pee.
yeah at this point, like we were only kind of hungry and didn't really have to pee, but then we smelled the prospect of food and shifted. So now we're all starving to death literally and all have to pee. So we had to find something. So we found this Burger King slash short, I can't say the word,
Shawarma.
Burger King / shawarma restaurant that we stopped at that had power, had an open sign, had customers inside, and was serving those customers. So we thought to ourselves, okay, this is a good prospect. We feel like this could be a potential place. I can't talk. This is strong beer. This could be a potential place to get both food and access to a toilet. So we park our van in a position. Oh my goodness! Wow.
What is happening?
So we park our van in a position that is strategically located near the front door of this restaurant, right? And we get out of the van and we rush inside and we all use the toilet, taking turns, of course. And then we come back out and we stand in line at the Burger King because we all collectively decided that we wanted cheap burgers instead of shawarma for some reason. I don't know why. So we get in line and there's a group of people in front of us who are receiving small paper bags containing what I believe was hamburgers from Burger King and possibly fries. We don't know. So it's looking at this point like they are serving customers. So we wait in line, and it's one of those like those zigzaggy lines where you kind of go in a back and forth, like you're going through a maze that's really easy to solve. So we get up there, and we're getting close, and we've been in line for a few minutes at this point, and we see this angry looking woman step from the drive-through area into the front of house service area and look at us and glare at us and shake her head
And huffed.
and huffed. The huffing is an important part of the story, and she huffed, right? So we're like, wow, that was slightly rude, but we continue to wait because at this point we had really, developed that taste for burgers.
We all even decided what we wanted, so it would have been
like
easy.
we were picking out stuff we were getting ready to order, right? And I should probably add at this point the electricity in the building was on. The debit machine was functional. The lights were on. The customers were receiving food. The cooking implements in the back of the store were functional enough to make Whoppers. And so we're waiting to order the food. So we get in, we're waiting for a while, and then this angry-looking lady comes out, and she looks at us, and she says, we're not serving. We're not taking orders at the counter anymore, right? And we say, oh, you're not? And she says, no, why did you even come in here? And I'm thinking to myself, this is a restaurant. We came in because we wanted food. So she's angry, right? So I'm not talking back to her at this point because I didn't want to fight anyone. So she's like, oh, and she just seems really put out by the fact that we had the nerve to come into this restaurant with the intention of purchasing food. So she comes and she storms past us to the front door and she does something.
As we were walking towards the door.
And she does something. I'm telling the story, Sam. I got this. So we're walking, we're standing, we're moving towards the front door and she rushes past us and she does something to it. And then she passes us on her way back to the counter and she tells us that we need to leave. She's like, you guys should get out of here. I don't know why you came in here to begin with. And we're like, okay. And so we start walking to the front door and she yells from behind the counter, which she has returned to at this point. And she says, you better not think you're going through that door. I just locked it. And we're like, but we're parked right there. And she's like, you can use the side door.
And note, there is a Burger King and a shawarma place that were both still on. Power was on.
Yeah. So at this point, there's like the people working the shawarma counter are like taking orders and serving food and kind of looking over like, what the heck is going on over there? And we go over and we have to leave through the side entrance, which involves, and this is during like one of the worst storms I've ever seen. That this involves us walking around the entire store to where we parked our vehicle, and I'm like, we got to do this, probably because she was a terrible person. Where we came from. So I'm like, you know what? Because I'm a good person, I was like, you know what? I said to the rest of the people with me, I will go get the van and I will bring it around to this door. And I go do that. And what happened while I was gone? Something with the door and a garbage can?
When you left, the door slammed pretty hard behind you. And like Oliver and I looked at each other and were like, did your dad do that on purpose?
No, I just walked through it. I don't know what happened.
And I'm like, I don't think that was on purpose. No. And then like you were still getting the car. And then like a few minutes later.
It was a van, but yeah.
Whatever. The vehicle.
Yeah.
A few probably like a minute later, the shawarma lady came out. She's like, is everything okay? And I told her the whole situation. She's like, really? The front door's locked? We're still open.
Yeah, that's the other thing. She locked the restaurant. There's a second restaurant in the building that was still trying to serve people. Yeah. She went and locked people out.
And she had no idea what was happening because she watched what happened.
Yeah.
And then when we were just sitting in the doorway, I think maybe because the four of us were still standing there waiting for you, she maybe thought when you left, the door could have locked and we were trying to get out.
Yeah,
But
I don't
no,
know.
I just told her the situation and she's like, oh.
And then we went to an A&W and they gave us food and all was good.
Yeah.
And we used the toilet in the Burger King, so we had that situation solved as well. But it was bizarre. And then of
Did you
course,
ever
like
write that
later
review?
that night, I was laying in bed, unable to sleep for other reasons. I was too hot, and so I stopped and I decided I'm gonna write a review on the Google Maps site because that's what I use to find restaurants. So. Sorry, I got gas from the beer. So I get on and I write this long review. It probably took me 15 minutes to type this thing out on my phone. And we were in a basement at this point trying to sleep, and I had no cell signal.
She
And
also
I hit
had no
send like
internet.
5 times. I couldn't send the review. It never did send. So very few people know about our tragic experience at Burger King, except for the listeners of this podcast. If any of you live in Ottawa, there's a Burger King there that sucks.
Should we tell them what town it was in?
I just said Ottawa.
It was
Nepean?
It was in
Just to the
Nepean.
south of Ottawa?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was awful.
It was right by the Costco. We'll get real.
Why am I telling this story?
I don't know, but I
have
don't
a
think
friend that
Falcon
works
Mick
at-
is like into it.
Yeah.
I had to get that off my chest because that was a bad experience.
Therapy session.
Yeah. And
feel
that's
better?
that's why, yeah, a little bit.
I was wondering, I was watching you going, is he going to fall asleep listening to Josh's story?
So yeah, that's my wow. That's a wow related story.
See, my stories don't put him to sleep.
Hey, my stories are long. I am long winded. When I tell a story, I like to go into unnecessary detail
Especially when
and
you're
take a long
explaining
time.
how long-winded you are. You're pretty long-winded about it. I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
stop it, Alan. You're the one that brought me a beer. What do you expect? It
Actually,
takes me precisely 28 seconds of
technically,
drinking beer.
you
to
brought
get-
me the beer, and I just brought you your beer.
True. We got this at Perth Brewery, just outside of Ottawa. They actually have good customer service. They didn't kick us out of the store. They served
Yeah,
us
if,
beer.
Fun story. The capital, the main city of Western Australia is Perth.
Yes,
Oh.
I did know that. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, you have a Perth down there, don't you?
So we got. Where's
And
my
there's one
camera?
in England as well.
Mm.
Perth Brewery. Different
Last
Perth.
duel. Although it's backwards there, so I'll try. Oh no, I can't turn it.
Hold
upside
on.
down.
Do you guys
You can.
have beer in Australia?
Oh yeah, I'm not much of a beer
Crikey.
person, but there's lots of it over here. There's a lot of
It's
breweries
mostly
as well.
Foster's. It's Foster's.
Have
right?
you not seen Crocodile Dundee?
Actually, no, I haven't. Am I supposed to? I don't watch a lot of movies.
I don't know. Do you consider Crocodile Dundee like a blasphemous movie for the Australian culture?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a movie. It's just like, do you find Die Hard to be? Oh no, you're not. You're not American. You're Canadian.
We're not American.
Do you find the Mighty Ducks to be what's it called, blasphemous?
Mighty Ducks is based in Los Angeles, which is a part of the United States.
But it's hockey.
All the same thing, same continent.
Yes, it is the same continent. Stop comparing us to Americans. What are you doing? What would you do if I compared you to who do Australians not like?
English.
The British? What if I was like, you're basically British. You have the same accent.
No,
That's
don't
how I
say
feel about being compared to
it. I
Americans.
always get nervous when he insults other cultures. It's just
Me?
drives mental. Yes, you
I'm
do.
not insulting other cultures. I'm objecting to being compared to Americans.
I love Americans.
Some of them.
Well, the only
Oh,
thing I can really think of when it comes to Canada is like that you've like made Justin Bieber. That's about it.
We say
No.
sorry a lot.
Justin Bieber.
Nothing wrong with
Justin
Justin
Bieber is
Bieber.
from here.
No, I
Um,
like Justin Bieber.
he's not the worst Justin from Canada.
Oh, Alan.
Alan,
This is not a politics
no,
podcast.
don't even start.
It's a joke. Come on.
We have had a lot of
I didn't
quality...
mean to single him out. Wait,
That's terrible.
I'm going to hell. Sorry.
The Prime Minister of Canada, his name is Justin, and he just divorced from his wife last week. So Al was making a poor taste joke about the man's relationship issues.
Yeah.
That is bad, Al.
I was told to be bad by our very guest.
You were told to be rude and inappropriate, not
that
mean.
That was rude and inappropriate.
It was. Well, are we ever going to get to the news? We apparently have news. Is there news?
Well,
Is there?
nothing new.
You're our news guy.
They're just talking again about the.
Do you have news? Okay, hold on. Pause for news intro.
It's time for the news.
I turned off all the stuff.
You may speak now.
Excuse me. They just talked about the release date, 24th, and
We already
it's
knew
coming
that,
out
though.
Phase 6. Yeah, I know. I told you there's nothing really new in the news.
Sorry, you said Phase 6?
Yeah.
What's Phase 6?
Yeah. All content's up, unlocked. There's no war effort. It's just everything's ready to go.
Or Phase... War effort for what? I'm lost now.
As in, like, the war effort you typically have to do to unlock AQ, it's going to be complete, so you don't have to do the war effort to get
Oh,
into...
so we're talking about the hardcore servers. There's going to be no Phase
Yeah.
6. Or there's no...
It's going to be Phase
no war.
6.
See, I like
You can
war.
walk into Nax if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so
so
there will be.
everything's going to be open from the
Yes,
start.
that was the news. Everything is opening.
Oh, okay.
Everything's open.
That's kind of
Yep,
cool.
so
That
they're
is-
going to be mages going into Naxxramas and doing AoE pulls to kill mobs to get the random epic drops.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah, there's
Um,
weapons and there's rings that you can get from doing it.
So will they be selling those, do you think? They'll be bringing people
Yeah,
in?
I mean, at first they
not all
probably would
mage
just have
usable.
guildies. They'll have guildies coming in, and they'll be just feeding them items that way. But eventually, there will be paid services where you can give someone a certain amount of gold, and you just sit in the instance and wait for an epic to drop.
A certain
handy.
amount of gold or a certain amount of real life currency?
Both.
That's cool. So mages can do that, eh? They can solo
Yeah.
AoE pull in Nax?
Yep. You need
Wow.
2 mages though, from memory.
Hey, there's
also-
3 of us.
This year they also
skills.
reiterated, this week they also reiterated that if you die, you can transfer for free to a Classic Era realm.
Not any realm?
Classic Era realm.
Classic era only, huh? So White Main PvP, where we've been playing, is that one?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes. They were saying when they update Classic Era to version 1.14.4 with the scheduled maintenance on August 22nd, the new honor and ranking system will be implemented. So when they go live with a new patch, PvP will resume as planned.
So what were the details of the new armor? So just the decay is gone, or were there any other changes?
So when you log
Okay,
in,
gone.
when you log in after the update, you will retain most of your lifetime kills. It's got a double asterisk. Your lifetime highest rank, your current honor rank, double asterisk again. So that double asterisk says, please note that PvP activities this week preceding the patch will not be counted. All Classic Era PvP calculations done during maintenance of August 15th will be the last for the old system, with the exception of weekly DK. You will still be accounted for on August 22nd. For example, if you're 90% into rank 12 on August 15th, there's a high chance you will not be 90%. In fact, you could decay down to 0.
Ouch.
Yeah. So,
So what is
even though it's saying-
0% of the rank, that's the big change, is that you can't no longer be D-ranked unless you do dishonorable kills.
yeah,
So
you'll
you can
be at
still
12.
you can still decay within your rank?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was no
So you-
decay at all.
You could be at 80% way through to rank 13 and then not play for 2 months and you'll be back down to 0%.
Didn't they not release the decay until Wrath?
No decay was been from the get-go, and you'd be able, when you decayed, you'd be able to go from rank 12 down to rank 11 down to rank 10. Now, as soon as you can only decay to the bottom of the rank you're in.
That was a terrible Death Knight joke.
Yes, I was being annoying.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I do remember doing that honor system and losing ranks because I'd take a week off and it was so frustrating.
Oh,
So you could just time your breaks. So like as soon as you hit a rank, that's when you take the break, right? So you don't
Yep.
lose as much.
yeah.
And there's
you know-
also slightly less honor required technically, so you can get it quicker.
Bob's being concerned about what?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Yeah, less honor. You know what? I might try some PvP just for fun.
So
I
it
wanna
takes.
try PvP.
So okay. So you say there's less honor required to rank up. Does that mean there is more people able to rank up to each rank at a time?
Oh, that's the other thing as well, is that there's no longer like caps to how many people get certain many points. It comes down to purely how many points you got during that day. So
Yeah, because that's what I
you
was
can-
going to ask. Because they used to, didn't they used to?
bracket
I did a
stacking.
little bit of they'd stack who was able to get what, and they'd kind of set internal limits within the PvP community. So that I found that frustrating because I was never in that inner circle, and I was always like, this week I'm gonna just do more honor than I'm allowed to do, and I never got around to doing it, which is probably why I wasn't in that inner circle of PvPers. What were you gonna say? So what is Bob going on about? Are you concerning Bob again? Were you complaining to him about YouTube comments?
I just said one line. I said, "Oh wow, your YouTube community sucks." LOL.
Oh,
Oh, Alan, like, is he?
So
Leave him
now,
alone.
I sent him one little line. My God, why are you on me?
he's already concerned enough about you, Al.
He just sent me this. You definitely have a big heart. Don't listen to them. People hate. I've had death threats.
You're not supposed to listen to the comments, the negative comments.
I love reading the comments. I find
think
it
it's
fun.
hilarious.
Okay, defend me a little bit here, Falconmick. I'm going to need you. I just said one little thing. And I haven't had a chance.
That'd be a little bitch.
Al is both crass and fragile somehow at the same time.
I said one comment
I know.
about his comment section, and it
thought
was
the
nothing
comment
sad about
section
it.
was funny.
And it ended with
I should start saying,
LOL.
your wife, she is really ugly. You
I
probably
can't
love his
do,
comment
man.
section.
Some days
No.
I feel it.
Some
What?
guy,
I never said
somebody
you were
called
ugly.
her out in that comment section. Eh?
Oh, what did they say?
They said she interrupts too much and she's got to let Bob do his thing.
That's Mel. I thought that was hilarious. I was gonna go on there and comment and be like, okay, so in YouTube's opinion, Mel needs to sit down and shut up and only speak when she's spoken to. That seems to be what they were getting at there.
Yeah.
They should be like Sam. Sam sat there nice and quietly and didn't say anything unless she was spoken to. They want Mel to be more like Sam. Now, people that comment on YouTube, nah.
I'm not concerned. I said one little line to Bob. Oh my gosh. So I should just sit here and not talk until I'm spoken to.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I've been trying to get
You do
across.
sit down when you go to the toilet.
I do. Hey, Josh
As
said
any
that too.
normal people should. It's the best
No.
way to do it. You want to
No.
enjoy your time in the bathroom? Sit down when you do your stuff. Sit down, pull out your phone, take a book in, do what you got to do. That's your personal space. No one's gonna walk in to the bathroom while you're sitting on the toilet and start asking you for things.
Do you have
having
a
a
6-year-old?
conversation. Well, he does.
Yeah, I have a 3 and a 4-year-old, so
Okay, so people walk in on you, but you have a lock on the door. Can your 3-year-old pick a lock?
no,
Don't knock
not
me out,
yet.
don't knock
It's
me
more
out.
that I'm just forgetful and I don't lock it.
I don't lock it. Half the time I don't even close it.
Well, there you go. That's your fault then.
Yeah.
I lock myself in there with entertainment.
Yeah, I know. And then when I need to get in there while you're taking too long, it's locked.
We have 2 bathrooms. So how long have we been talking today?
I
feel
don't
like
know.
We've been going on for a while. Do we have anything left to say?
I don't think so.
Because I'm concerned. I'm concerned about
We
2
still
things.
have podcast questions, but we've been
Oh,
going
shoot.
for a long time.
Do you have those up? Go through those real
Why
quick
don't we
because
do
we've
like
had.
a podcast question session?
We can just do a one-off after.
We could do a midweek thing.
Do we want to
thing
do a
for
midweek?
podcasts.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
Sure. Because
I-
I'm concerned that we're wasting Falconmick's entire Sunday.
No, it's fine. My what's it called? The girls are watching Bluey, and my wife is having a nice break while they entertain themselves.
Is that little cartoon dog?
Yep.
Yeah, I know that one.
I did have one interesting thing happen to me on Whitemane
Just one?
the other
It's a
day.
boring week.
You've been playing without us?
He's been on his warrior making all the gold.
No, anyway. I was at the Tower of Undercity waiting for the bus to get to Orgrimmar, the
Like
big
the
flying
blimps.
ship.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I look over to my left as I'm looking out, and I'm seeing tunes falling down to the ground.
Did they die?
Players, no. It's like they were jumping off of one of the blimps.
Oh, I do that all the time.
There was no blimp.
Oh.
And the one that was going to Stranglethorn Vale had already left, and then eventually came back. And then shortly after that, I look again, and there was a lot of us waiting there for a very long time. People were falling down again, but this time there was a blimp. So somehow a blimp came along and dropped these people off, and then phased right past us. It was really weird.
That is weird.
That is weird.
Because I know that I wish I was recording at that time because I know there were tunes that were coming out as if they had jumped off a blimp. But there was nothing for us to get on and go to Orgrimmar.
That is insane.
All right, that happened. I thought I'd share.
It was an enjoyable story. I am fascinated by that. I mean that legitimately.
You know what that is?
I liked
Do you know what that is?
What?
That's outrageous.
No. We can't just end. We have stuff we have to do before we end the podcast.
That was the perfect ending.
It is. That was an outrageous story, Alan, but we can't do this yet. We have to give ourselves a chance to close this.
I know.
We have to give Falconmick a chance if he wants to. I don't know. Some people stream. Some people have YouTube stuff. I don't know if you have any of that. If you don't have anything you want to tell people about, you don't have to.
Do you want to
Just
close our podcast?
watch countdown. Watch countdown to classic. That's
you go.
that's my
We're going to advertise
for-
another podcast. It is a good podcast.
He's plugging. Yeah. Okay.
Well, no. Here's the thing, though.
hang up the Australians.
It is a good podcast. When I have listened to it, I have enjoyed it. But I don't think I've ever finished an episode. I have started many episodes, but they're long. So I don't think I've ever actually finished one because the next one's always out before I'm done.
So they're hitting the wall.
So I do no, they're making a lot of content, and I get it. It is quality content. Josh Corbett is a solid podcaster. He's an Australian man. He is good at what he does, but he makes very long episodes, and sometimes I don't finish them.
I was looking. There are a couple hours. I mean, people listen.
I can't find it. There is one he released one time that was literally 7 or 8 hours.
That was the first one I listened to. And I was like, because he had taken a break or he was moving or something. I can't remember what happened. I think he was moving. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to release everything in this one episode. And I was like, well, you know what? This is good. I'm going to listen to this episode. And like 3 weeks later, I still wasn't done. And then I was like, I'm going to move on and I'm going to listen to other ones. So like that was my first exposure to him, was this like monstrous 7-hour long episode that he released that I just never finished. But it is a good podcast. Falconmick is right.
I'm subscribed.
It is a good podcast.
I'm subscribed.
Do you have anything else you want to say to end this? Do you want to say whatever you want to say? Just say whatever you want to say right now.
Well, just keep it up, and you guys don't have to feel like you need to change the podcast. Like, it's fine as it is. But obviously, there's also nothing wrong with changing it if you want to change it for the sake of changing it. I think it's fine. I like it how it is.
Yeah, the change that we've made to start adding guests isn't so much because we felt we needed a change. It's to make more content because I was personally running out of things to say. So it's now we're bringing in people to talk to us, and it's easier to come up with extra things when you're responding to someone. So so you have helped this turn into an episode where we have actually said things. So thank you.
We talked about
We've almost reached the Australian podcast length. It's 2 hours now.
Has it been 2 hours?
Okay, that's
An hour and 57.
Well, there we go. That's about how long we usually go.
I really hope you have video.
I've been recording video the whole time. See this red light here? Where OBS is down on my bar. You see how there's a red light there? That means OBS is recording this screen here. So what we're going to get on OBS is we're going to get your face. So that's too bad. We're going to get Falconmick's face, that's fine. He's got a good face. We've got the top of my head, which is kind of weird. I don't think I like that. And we've got Sam's face, which is good. You got a good face.
She's got a big forehead.
This bear that means Craig is recording, so you can cut that out. So you can have us four. You can arrange our faces in some sort of appealing manner into a video. You'll be able to crop and move them around if you want. It's a cool thing you can do. And then you can put like a background or something. So there will be video. If anything,
I don't think he knows how to do that.
If anything, we don't have two separate videos from two separate cameras now because it's all going through OBS. So if anything, this will be like a more cohesive video than we've had yet.
It's not interesting. You'd think I don't know any of that already, but hey.
I question sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. You gave me beer, so I'm starting to be honest.
Whoa. It's not called honesty. It's called annoying. No, just kidding.
That's what people say. All the YouTube comments, they say I'm annoying.
So one of our DKs in the guild is now 80, and he almost has the defense rating needed to off-tank Nax 10.
That's in Mere Casuals?
Yeah.
Is that... Hold on. Is that Locutus? Is that Locutus?
No, Picky.
Picky. Isn't Picky a warlock?
Oh, he's a DK.
Picky lock? Is there a second Picky?
Picky and
Picky Lock
Discord.
and Locutus is the same person.
Are they?
Yeah.
I did not know
Because
that.
I remember they were
yes.
talking to me and wanted me to disenchant things, and then they signed on to Picky Lock or something like that.
Okay. Well, there you
Those
go.
two people were...
So Locutus, though, I was going to say that's the Borg that's level 80. That's the DK that's level 80 then.
Yeah, we should definitely try and do at least one raid. Are you able to join us if we did a raid?
Oh, if it's on a Friday or a Saturday, then I can. It's just I can't during the week.
Okay.
So what time are you available Friday evenings our time? That would be like early Saturday for you.
Like from six onwards on 6 onwards on Fridays and Saturdays.
I think we should push for Friday. Like I know a couple people had questionable availability.
Yeah, me.
Oh shoot, is it you that can't come on Fridays?
Well, my schedule changes a bit. I mean, if we do it later, like 7 o'clock, I run home from work and hop on.
Because I was gonna be like, I feel like the people that can't come on Fridays are not important, but it turns out it was you. So I was probably wrong. I was definitely
Everybody
wrong.
in
I take that as
our
a compliment.
That's the nicest thing you said to him this entire time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So, he noticed that too.
I feel like the underlying air of conflict between me and Al adds to the podcast sometimes.
We have fun with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we should probably wrap this up. Thank you for joining us, Falconmick. Thank you for waking up super early on a Sunday morning when you
good.
probably could have slept in.
Would you like to send us off? Would you like to do like a catchphrase to end our podcast?
Crikey.
There you
That's
go.
outrageous.
Every time.